The Flaming Lips. Yoshimi battles the Pink Robots on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me is Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
Good morning.
I'm going to be honest, I'm going to own up straight away. I've done very little work towards this show this week. I'm a bit busy.
You surprised me.
Yeah. So I apologise if it sounds a bit sort of...
Thanks for being honest, though, Rick.
Well, no, I don't want people to go, oh, no, that was a bit shoddy this week. I hope it's not going to be that every week. Yeah. So it is because I've done very little preparation.
Okay.
So...
Right.
Whereas
normally...
You'll probably have to help me out.
All right.
You have to do some of the work. Karl, you might have to help us out a little bit as well.
I don't know, but I mean...
I know Steve's done nothing towards it either. So... the onus is on you a little bit here. I love the fact that it's still listed as either Ricky Gervais or Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant.
Essentially, we don't need to be here, really.
No, but I know now people listen for Karl. Everyone I've spoken to, for people on buses, to comedians like Ross Noble mentioned you the other day, and that they go.
People on buses?
I've never been on a bus.
You haven't been
years.
on a bus for like 12 years, have you? People on buses. I don't know why I find that so funny. I just know the idea of you being on a bus. The idea of you handing over your fare.
They're shouting out from the window. Right. They're going, I love Karl.
Right. Yeah.
I'm walking along.
How much is it on the bus?
20 pence.
No, come on, seriously, how much is it?
One adult for Terminus, please.
I love the fact, they do that thing where, like, if they're interviewing Paul
50,
Newman or someone famous...
No, it's a quid, isn't it? It's a quid.
They always say, how much is a pint of milk? And that's supposed to prove if you're sort of still in touch with your roots or whether you're too big a celebrity.
Yeah.
You've got no idea how much it costs on the bus.
Quid?
It's not a quid.
120.
No, it's not 120.
Pint of milk, about 50p. 30p.
Oh, brilliant. Wow. Well, because, it's fascinating, because you gave this stuff up before you became a celebrity, didn't you? You were always...
lazy.
Because people always say to me, like, Ricky seems a bit obnoxious.
Who says that?
No, they say,
No. Who comes up to you and just says that?
The guy on the tube did it. I swear to God, it came up. He said, I was watching an interview with Ricky. He said, he's not a nice piece of work. I went, he said, no, I've got friends like that. And it's like they're always talking, they're a bit irritating, and you sort of let them off because they're your mates. But I was going, well, hang on a minute. He went,
well, two things, it's sort of my job talking, and being interviewed, essentially you do have to talk.
Yeah, so about yourself.
If that's his only criticism, then I'm not too bad.
No, he didn't think you were funny either. In fact, he had a whole list. I say a list, a petition.
It wasn't Dickie Anderson, was it?
It wasn't Richard Anderson.
I hope he's listening.
He's our biggest fan.
I'll tell you what, Mock Turtles need a remix by Fatboy Slim, don't they?
Mock Turtles? It's a great tune, but I'd love to hear it remixed.
Yeah. Mock Turtles, Can You Dig It? Remixed by Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Ooh, stuff to do.
What's going on?
Stuff to talk about and that.
What's been going on?
Before you came in, you saw it, didn't you? That experiment I was doing with the...
An experiment?
Yeah.
Well, all I know is as I walked in the building, I passed the little kitchen area, you were hitting Karl on the head with a tin tray.
Didn't it make a good noise?
It was a great noise, but I'm interested to explain more about the experiment.
Well, I wanted to see how hard I could hit him and make it resonate, right, before I either caved his skull in, or,
right.
You know what I mean? So, you had to hold it quite loose, so it could, vibrate, but you had to grip it hard enough to give it a good whack.
Right.
And his head's brilliant for hitting stuff on.
Is it?
It is perfect.
Karl, could we recreate that moment a bit later on the radio?
You'll notice that you've been on for 15 minutes, haven't said a word. So it's had a bit of an effect on me. Still a little bit shaken.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, do it again later.
We were talking about your head a little bit earlier, weren't we?
It's not going to mean that you're sort of a bit, fuzzy thinking, is it?
It'll be alright.
Yeah.
So...
Good. Can we recreate that later, maybe towards the end of the show? Just hit you on the head with various objects, see which make the best sound?
He said talking about Time Out. I said something about in Time Out, and he went, yeah, do you read that? I went, yeah, I read it, get it every week, yeah. He went, there's no point though, is there? He said, because it's like a telephone directory. If you want to look something up, you look it up, but you'd never sort of browse the telephone directory. And I went, that's an interesting point. He went, although I did. When I was in Scotland, I just looked up how many Macs there were, and there was 42 pages of them. How bored are you in your hotel room in Scotland to suddenly start working out how many people start with Mac?
Were you sat in your room? There was nothing else that you could think of to do?
I've been working. It's when we did the show from, XFM did some stuff from Edinburgh.
Yeah. You were sat in your hotel room?
Sat in the room, waiting to sort of go out and get some food and that. sat there.
Why were you waiting to go out and get some food?
Because we were all going to meet up. We're going to meet up with, with Simon.
So you thought, I'm not going to switch the TV on. I'm not going to read a magazine.
The telly was on. Nothing was on. I wasn't impressed with anything that was on. So I'm looking around the room. I had a couple of the free shortbreads.
I love the fact he remembers.
Yeah.
He remembers a specific biscuit he had.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I had a couple of them, and then looked around. There was a Bible, and I thought, well, I know about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing in that I don't know. So got the phone book up, and immediately thought, there's a lot of Mac this and Mac that in Scotland. Macintosh,
Mac Daddies.
Macateer.
Yeah.
There's loads of
Return to
names. So I
Mac.
thought, I wonder how popular it is.
I wonder just how popular it is.
42 pages of Macs.
Did you count how many pages there were?
Yeah.
Did you just work out from the numbers on the bottom of the page, or did you literally
No, I
count
counted.
them?
I counted.
Right.
And
how many do you reckon are on a page? There's a lot in there. If someone could tell you approximately how many names they get on one page.
How long did it take you, this whole procedure?
what, the counting?
Yeah.
Not that long.
No,
It's
just
just
counting
2
the
pages.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
They're all
And what
together,
did you
luckily.
do once you digested that information? What did you do with that information? Did you tell people
Stored it,
when you
haven't I?
went?
I mean, look, how long ago was the Edinburgh Festival?
I stored it along with the biscuit. I love to get in his head. I imagine it's a big warehouse, and there's lots of partitions for weird stuff like kids born with tentacles and things like that.
I imagine there's like quite an old caretaker, and you go in there. You say, "I'm looking for that." He goes, "Hang on, I know where that. I put that somewhere. Hang on a minute, hang on.
Is this the one when they shave the cat? No, it's not shaving the cat. This is the Max. The Max. Oh, you know, Scotland, the shortbread. Well, don't give me the shortbread because that's putting me off. But
The what's the name though? Do you remember last week I was talking about the airy kid? And
I think that's every week, Carl. That doesn't narrow it down.
alright, well, we were talking about that airy kid in the woods, and did a bit more research this week.
Okay.
Found a good story out about a monkey,
Right.
which I'll tell Ricky a little bit about it.
Tell me, come on, tell it now.
No,
Right.
no. Tease
I
me
reckon
with
we
it.
should keep this.
It sounds exciting stuff.
That's got 'em, right? So we'll be doing that. we've got
Hook the audience.
we've got Rockbusters again this week.
Yeah.
We've got Doing Edam,
Yeah. What
Right.
are you trying to get rid of this week?
Cockroaches.
Right, good one.
I can't think of a reason to keep them.
Looking into that well. I'll sort the matter out. That's coming up.
Excellent.
We've got I'm teaching you some more stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He phoned me up today. Yesterday it was. You know, he's been researching, like, educating Ricky. He said, what do you want to know about? I don't know. He said, you interested in space? And I went, yeah. Phoned me 3 hours later. He went, no, nothing about space. I went, what? He said, I couldn't find anything interesting. I said, you couldn't find anything interesting about space.
Yeah.
It's big.
It's pretty interesting, Carl.
He went,
It's big, but there's nothing there. That's it's like the Millennium Dome.
oh,
So
God.
what I'm looking at, right?
But no, wait. He said, is there anything else you want to know about? I went, alright, I went, anthropology. He went, what's that? I went, study a man, I sent a man. He went, like what? I went, like, our roots from caveman through and all the, he went, and I said, Australopithecus, Neanderthal. He went, well, you know all that then? I went, no. He went, right. He went, do you want to know how a lung works or something? How a lung works. And I said, well, tell me how a fridge works. He went, oh, I said, it's just the gas, isn't it? I went, brilliant. I went, tell me how a microwave works. He went, I know. I went, no. I said, fella walking past in a laboratory with a bar of chocolate in his pocket, went past some sort of ray thing, it melted it, and he went, hold on. That's it. That's explained to me how a microwave works. Right.
So today we're doing sort of medical-ish type things under the banner of colon then, educate me.
Oh, God.
Do it again.
Colon then, educate me.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So that's like go on then. So colon.
Brilliant.
So that's a little heading. You're going to be learning 3 things sort of medical-ish before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, do you want to...
Pretty much, yeah.
A bit of suede?
Come on then.
How many O'Reillys are there, do you think? No, little task for you.
Suede, animal nitrate. That's just really got a Johnny Marr influence at the end, that guitar, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Still brilliant.
Still
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Tell us about this monkey, Karl.
You're going to love this one, Steve,
Go on.
right? So last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy. Right?
No.
Leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened. He lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's
Anyway,
what happened. That's what happened.
looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that. came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo.
Oh dear.
Right. So
Trouble's brewing.
Loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people. You're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes. Well, dangerous.
What do you mean? What type was it? Do you
Just
mean
let him tell the story.
Was it a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp. Yeah. Yeah,
I don't even know. So
it was
that's
a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a chimp. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it?
So he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
do they go on
and
holiday together?
well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off
pool together.
just checking each other out and, you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, this goes on for a while. You know, they're getting on well and that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right? So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you. So he thinks he could live at home with me, this.
Yeah.
Because we're getting on the storm.
Yeah.
Right? So he takes him home and before
Is
you
this
know
the
it...
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried, because he's already imitating him when they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, so
Go on.
anyway, so it's moving in and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. Pinky tips.
It finishes the day off with
Oh, dear.
Finish the day off with what?
He
with
does,
a
he doesn't
little
have to
brandy.
move a piano at one point, does he?
Finishes the day off with a little brandy?
Yeah.
What, he pours himself a... Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
I'll tell you what, Carl, you're a maniac, mate.
No, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of, I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is hairless. Right? Apart from his head. Right, so he's got a nice...
So it's the opposite of the kid.
Well, no,
Yeah,
this is what
well,
I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right?
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if it's
How
dyed?
did it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
All
can
right, well,
see if
okay,
I've gone wrong.
keep going.
Anyway,
Wow.
so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the
rubbish.
zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying,
Well,
he's
it
got
gets
his
to a
other
point when he
chipmates
says
round.
there's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me... I'm fascinated.
it's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary, Carl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand, only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, Steve.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And,
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but-
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well hung.
So what about that?
Wait, what do you mean? What about it, Carl? It's obviously not true. It's obviously not true.
This wasn't on the internet. This was in a book. So it's not a quick joke and just put it on a website. This is in a book.
I don't understand how...
I love that he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy.
Exactly.
And he,
What was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing, Carl?
the fact that-
He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing like Trivial Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Carl, play a record.
Right.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you in?
Feeder. Just the way I'm feeling. XFM 104.9. I love that. Carl, you're panicking. You've just remembered a song from your childhood, and I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm going to give out a number. Please take this number down if you can help, Carl. It's 08700 800 1234. Right.
I'm not that bothered. We were talking about a track from the 60s,
Yeah.
Mighty Quinn,
Yeah.
and it was on the same compilation. My dad had a tape in the car, and the tape was always on in the stereo thing in the
Yeah.
car. And I used to sort of sit through all this stuff I didn't like, but knowing that coming up soon was a song about a monster with purple eyes.
It wasn't
monster
Puff the
with
Magic
purple
Dragon.
It wasn't that.
A monster. There must be something else about it that give people.
Do you remember a chorus or a few lines?
It says something like, it was a one-eyed, it had big eyes, purple, and it eats people or something.
The big-eyed purple eater. Wasn't there a song called something like that? The big-eyed purple.
And it was a hit.
I'm
was
sure there was a song which is something like the intergalactic purple eater or something like that. It's a novelty song. Rubbish.
What, by the Bonzo Dog?
Yeah, it's that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, if you know what, Karl, look, the telephones have gone mad.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in a bit. I mean, I'm not that bothered. I'm not going to buy it. It's just that we were talking about songs and that. It'll be good to know who it was. But
Yeah.
Right, Rockbusters.
Okay. Now, how long? Where did you get
Answer the phone.
What, do you want to just answer
Well,
that?
answer the phone. So just answer the
yeah,
phone.
see what it is.
Just see someone's.
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Alright.
Yeah, that song, I don't know if it's by, or is that what you want?
That's the bit I wanted, really.
What's the name of the song?
Well, you know how it goes, it's like that, born nights on and dawn out of
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I don't think you've helped much though. You can't remember what it's called or who it's by.
Well, no, I mean, I know the tune, but that's about it.
But he's
It
done
seems
well,
to me-
Steve.
yeah,
He's done well. He's given up his spare time to call in and sing us a song. Don't diss him.
Rick, I'm concerned he's just only marginally remembering it more than Karl
It
is.
was actually in, I think it was in the Blob, no, it was in something like the Blob, actually. I think Steve McQueen was driving away and it was running in a sequence.
This is so very familiar. See if thanks very much, mate. See if we can get a title off someone.
And XFM.
Hello, yeah, I know the name of that tune.
Go on.
It's the Purple-Eyed People Eater?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And who's it by?
Yeah, well, I'm just at work and...
Who is it by?
It came to my mind.
Do you know who it's by?
I don't know who it's by, mate, sorry.
This is not enough information. I wouldn't phone in
We
if I only
didn't
had half
ask
the
them,
information.
but we asked them just what the tune was.
But I want someone like Paul Gambaccini to call in. He knows what chart position it got to.
Okay, right. Thanks very
I don't
much.
think this is enough information. That's two people.
The thing
We barely
is,
got
if
any
you know the
information
title,
from.
we can put it in the internet, can't we, and find out who did it.
Yeah.
That's full of
Brilliant.
information.
Well, thank you very much for
Yeah,
calling in.
I don't know why they bothered, frankly.
Right, listen,
Sorry, Rick, no, I mean, I just think if you're going to bother to call in a radio station,
You're
have the facts.
You're
Have
so
all the facts you have.
He hasn't got the facts, and he runs the radio station.
He doesn't run it. They keep him here like a mascot. He's like a pet, isn't he? They have him running around the office.
God.
Now listen, it's Rockbusters. I've got the prizes here. Rick, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we've given away some shoddy stuff in the past. This
But
is
it's
the worst
absolute
collection.
tat, is it?
This is really scraping the bottom of the barrel, Carl. I mean,
Let's hold on. The
how
phones
many
are going
more of
mad.
these can we give away?
If you're still phoning, hang up because we're not going to bother anymore. We really sorry about that. Maybe email us or something.
How many of these can we give away? Rick?
Look at that. It's only Fools and Horses.
It's the Christmas special from not this year, the year before.
Yeah.
I mean, we have given away so many of these. I imagine there's charity shops throughout London
Throwing them away.
Yeah, throwing them away.
Yeah.
So we got that,
dear.
and if you didn't watch it, if you weren't one of the 20 million that watched it.
blue-eyed, fat-legged, purple eater people. If they had a big and had a big boo. It's something like that.
And once again, the best chill-out album ever, with, this pretty much rubbish.
It was a big boo.
Actually, no, the songs were okay, but
Purple eater.
it's just basically a collection of songs you might have heard on adverts. So enjoy that. Oh god, this one again, the best air guitar album in the world, volume 2.
This is no longer an entertainment show. This is three people chatting to each other now and again. Sometimes we remember it's going out. Sometimes we just take a call for our own amusement. I mean,
It's the same price again. It's the David Attenborough compilation of DVDs, which I'd be very surprised if actually makes it to you. I imagine someone here will have had that long before we post it.
Oh dear.
There's a T-shirt in here.
XFM 104.9.
You get sent a lot of
Just in
crap
case you're wondering what you're listening to. You're
this is
listening
this is a
to. What is that?
Quicksilver T-shirt.
What is
That's
that?
fine.
What T-shirt is
That's
that?
a T-shirt made by the Quicksilver people. So if you're a bit of a surfer dude, and by the look of the size of it, you're a midget.
You can't say midget.
You're welcome to it. And this is, I think, the piece de resistance, Rick. I mean, because you know the kind of fans we have. They're pretty cool cats, pretty
Yeah.
groovy guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So I imagine they'll be loving on DVD Doctor Who, the Aztecs. That's one of William Hartnell, the first Doctor's classic episodes on DVD
God.
there.
You know,
Rubbish. That's rubbish, Carl, those prizes.
you-
I'm ashamed to give them away.
Carl,
frankly.
you know our mate Johnny, he's a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
Do you remember, he bought, the Doctor Who magazine, and he went, to the toilet, and Steve got post-it notes and put geek on every page, and Johnny opened it on the tube, right, and it had geek and everything, and Johnny bought in the new Doctor Who magazine, I think this week's or this month's, right, and they've done the perfect Doctor Who fan, right, what the geek is, right, and it looks exactly like Steve.
Alright, don't have a go, Rick.
It does, and, I'm going to try and put it on the website. It's amazing. It's got your hair, glasses, it stands like you, it's sort of dressed like you, and it's only, it's hilarious, and he was, I mean, I'm insulting you now, it sounds like an insult, but if you'd see it, you'd laugh.
Well, Rockbusters, right?
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Just a little bit annoyed.
Just, 3 clues.
We've lost all the energy in this show, haven't we?
Well, I can't get over that insult. I'm just a little...
No,
Three.
we did though.
It just came out,
sort
no, I
of
can be honest with
things,
you. It
3
came out left
clues.
field. I wasn't expecting an insult.
No,
And,
but I think
There was a sense of camaraderie on this.
No, I'll bring
Just
it in,
email
and
in,
you'll see what I mean.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
I'm just annoyed. I can't
What are we
listen to
doing?
Robert's
I'm just reading out the clues.
Should we put this, let's put this one in for the Sony Award. Let's put this show in for the Sony Awards.
Play a song, Carl, because I need to discuss things with him. I've talked before about him
Edit
slagging
it
me
down.
off.
Get this down to 3 minutes. It'd be a great show.
Rockbusters in a minute. XFM.
Lonesome Day by Bruce Springsteen from his new album The Rising on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Woman just phoned in and said to Karl, stick up for yourself. Don't listen to that Merchant. He does my head in. He's so arrogant.
I don't think I'm arrogant. I think I'm mean.
Yeah.
I just think I'm sort of objectionable. I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's
No.
sort of nastiness.
Yeah.
I'm just not a very nice person. But believe me, I'm not arrogant. I think I'm pathetic. We've had a lot of emails saying, could you bring back White Van Karl?
Oh, yeah.
Which is that section of the show where we ask the questions that the Sun asks
Someone
various
else.
random punters
Yeah.
of Karl. But sadly, recently they've got very politicised and very kind of basically a little bit depressing. So there's not really anything appropriate. But I have trawled the papers looking for other questions posed in other sections of the Sun.
Good idea.
I was just looking here at the Dear Deirdre section, which is the sort of problem page. I don't know what your views are on
I'd
this.
love to see Karl. Oh, God, can we get him a job?
As
Just
an agony.
ask. Oh, my God, that would be amazing. Right?
Well, here's one. I'd like to see your view on this, Karl. I'm a happily married 42-year-old woman with 4 kids, yet I've developed a huge crush on pop star Darius Dinesh.
Yeah.
It sent my hormone levels through the roof,
Yeah.
and last night I woke my husband up at 4 a.m. for sex. We've been married for 20 years and he can't believe his luck. Recently I've been having...
I want to go to I'll stop you there. Why are you telling me? Right, carry on. Sorry.
Recently, I've been having erotic thoughts about Darius morning, noon and night.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like this since I was a teenager and mad about Donny Osmond. My husband is amazed at the change in me. We had sex twice last night and again this morning.
Again, why are you telling me this? Yeah, go on.
He's just boasting. This is not a problem. It's
Yeah.
not a problem.
What's
here.
the problem? No problem. Just wanted to tell someone. Thanks very much.
I watched Darius on TV last night, and when my husband came home, I dragged him into the kitchen and we made mad, passionate love. Right, they did it then, twice last night, once this morning. That's 4 times. 5 times she's mentioned it so far.
Yeah.
She's doing all right. My husband, this is a great bit. My husband thinks it might be his new moustache. Or that I'm going through the menopause, but I
You
know
were thinking
different.
of growing a moustache?
I was
Just
thinking
think
of
it would
growing a
change your
moustache.
luck with the ladies?
I love the idea that's what he thinks it is. He's telling his mates in the pub.
You
should
gone
grow
mad
with
for me.
these.
Grow
The
with
old
these,
Tom
right?
Selleck.
5 times in the last 24 hours.
Hooray for sexy Darius. So, what do you make of that then? What are your views on that?
Hold on though, if that bloke is reading that paper, that narrows it down
It's
a
gotta
bit.
be, yeah.
Who else did he know? His wife likes Darius, he's had sex 5 times that night, and he grew a new moustache. He's thinking, I wonder if that's me.
Maureen.
Yeah, go on.
But what's your concern? Because I'll tell you what her problem is. She's worried that, the reason that she's now kind of overly excited and she's having this great sex with her husband is because she's actually fantasizing about someone completely different, younger. She's having these wayward thoughts, isn't she? She's a bit concerned about that. What's your concern? What are your thoughts?
I reckon she's going to start shoplifting soon and coming out in hot flushes. Go on.
Just, they're both happy, aren't they? He's getting what he wants. She's happy. I'd say, yeah, whatever, get on with it.
Do you think that she should confess? She wants to be honest with him.
I wouldn't, because not that many fellas like Darius.
Right.
So, if you're sort of thinking, oh, she'd rather have him than me, I don't
What do you think
it's gonna work.
Darius would think of this?
He'd probably be happy with that. I mean,
What would you do if you got loads of phone calls, right, from women going, Karl, whenever you're on the radio, I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Your voice makes me...
I'd say, alright, well, it's alright. I'd be happy with that.
Would you?
Yeah. I mean, just in case anyone is doing that.
What would you do to sort of like egg them on a little bit to help them out? What do you think?
What sexy things would you say?
What do you think is your quality? What do you think people would find, you know, pretty horny about you? Is it your sort of mank wine? Do you think that? Just say this, London shit, innit?
I think say that, but you know, London, it's not that good, is it? Like
I think you've done it there.
So
that's
say something quite sort of sexy though. Say something like, you know,
well,
I love to love you.
Say something sexy.
Say that.
No, say something sexy.
Sue's answers to me, you know, do you love me? I go, yeah, you're all right. Job done.
I know that's true.
Yeah.
I know that's true. That's brilliant.
But because one of the things that Deirdre says is that she's wondering if this marriage is going a little bit stale and needs to be freshened up. They need to give a new spice, a new spin to the marriage. What would you do? What advice would you give to spice up, you know, something that they've been married for quite some time?
Get him. I think get Darius, all Darius things. Get David Snedden's new video on the telly.
What do you reckon though, Carl?
Just treat them. Do you know what I mean? Just surprise them now and again with stuff. That's what I do.
It's what you've got those condoms, didn't you? That you got two.
So hang on, what? You've never done that? What? You've surprised Suzanne with what?
You know, I've like
you stood behind a door and shouted at her when she comes in.
Don't drop the jelly.
Yeah, you know, just the usual stuff. There was some free chocolate delivered to work the other day. I took her a bit of that home.
Nice of you. That's really thoughtful.
She didn't like dark chocolate, but I said, well, it's a thought. So I had it. But
you know, you often benefit from any gift that you give her. The chocolate, the meal, the condoms. There's always something in it for you.
Yeah, there is. I love the idea.
She's got bored with a Christmas present now, though.
What, the condoms?
Yeah.
Or the food that she ate.
Oh, the condoms.
Right.
Yeah, she's got tired of filling them with water, throwing them at the passing kids, or putting them on her head and inflating them.
I love the idea of asking problems. What do you think of erectile problems? You know that Pele advert? He goes, "Be careful, we haven't got erectile problems. Call this number." What would you do if you're impotent? What would you do?
What's the advertising?
It's just saying, like, you know, if you can't, you know.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Why have they got him doing it?
Well,
he used to, he used to be able to keep it up for hours. The ball and.
Yeah. What would you do if you...
To advertise that?
No, if you suddenly couldn't get, you know, what would you do?
I don't think it bothered me now.
I know, you're 30! What's that?
You were talking like you're an 80-year-old.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? You sort of been there, done that now. It's like the boxing and the dancing that I did. It was good as a kid, and now it's like, take it or leave it.
You need to write to Deirdre!
Supergrass, Seen the Light, XFM 104.9. We're a little bit worried. We might have a technical hitch here. We've had no emails, and usually we get loads and loads. So we're worried it's us. Can someone send an email?
Yeah, just a test email.
Yeah, but we won't know if they have or not. They might just be ignoring us. No one might be listening, Steve, so this isn't proof.
I guarantee there's at least one person who would send an email. Maybe if Dickie Anderson's listening, he could do it for us.
Anders! Do us a favour for all the pleasure we've given you over the last few years.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
If you haven't heard the Rockbusters, might as well give them out.
Well, let's check the email's working before we do
Yeah,
that.
otherwise it's a complete... This whole show has been a sham and a farce and a waste of time.
Well, I think they can take that as read.
Right, educate me, Carl.
Right, well,
Educate me.
Well, what we're looking at this week, we've done war, we've done
We've nailed that. We've nailed war. We summed up war with a little French bloke whose battle cry was "John's got a moustache."
Right. So, and last week we did science.
What would you do on science then?
Airy Kid.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
So this week we're looking at medical problems.
I'm sure we do Airy Kid every week.
Medical problems. Then I've got a couple of things under the banner of. Then educate me.
Yeah.
We've got, this is interesting, right? Do you know if you have an operation on your brain, right, what they do is, I mean, this is why I'd never go to the doctors. I don't like doctors because this sort of stuff freaks me out, right? They can operate on your brain, and what they do is, they put you to sleep first, cut your brain case open.
Your skull, yeah.
The brain case.
Yeah, yeah.
And then wake you up and operate on you. So you sat there with your head open, messing with your brain, and you don't feel anything.
Well, there's no nerve endings, is there, in the brain?
But still, it's not right, is it?
What, you think they do it for fun?
No,
They
but
go on, Reg, wake him up so he all freaks out. Go on, wake him up.
is it necessary that you're awake, do you think, or...
Well, they need the brain active, don't they?
Yeah, but it is when you're asleep, you're having mad dreams. I had a mad dream the other day.
Go on.
No, I might tell you about it later, but there's no sense to it. But, so your brain's still...
Where is this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it'll turn out, I go, no, Karl, I was there, that wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but... So, I mean, if I had an operation...
On your brain, heaven forbid.
Well, operation anywhere, I'd like to sort of think, well, I'll have an injection, I'll go asleep, but when I wake up, it'll all be sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that...
Your brain case is open.
And they wake you up and you think, oh, is it all done? And they say, well, have a look in the mirror. And your brain...
See, I don't think they do that. I don't think they try and frighten you when you're during an operation.
Yeah, I don't think that you go about your business and they sort of follow you around, dabbling.
Yeah.
No, but it's almost like they are having a bit of a laugh with you.
Right, well, I'd just like to say now that they don't. Anyone who's going in for an operation on their head, do not ever listen to anything Karl says.
Why have you got to be awake? Because you'll be bored anyway, you'll be sat there.
Well, they give you a telephone directory, look, and they say, look how many Macs are in there. That's the Scottish telephone directory. And, you know, time flies when you're counting that sort of thing.
No, but do you know, like, when you...
What are you telling me? What are you
I'm just
asking
saying
me?
how weird it is. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, do you know when you go for a haircut, right? It's a bit embarrassing. Well, I don't anymore, but... When you go for a haircut, it used to be...
When you go for a haircut?
It used to be a bit embarrassing when, like, they'd wet your hair and they'd make you have that sort of Hitler cut because your hair's wet, and I used to hate it, and I think, do you have to do that? Do you know what I mean? You know
It's
what I mean,
similar.
don't
It's
you?
very similar to open skull
No,
surgery.
what I'm saying is, it's almost like barbers like to do that to make you look daft and feel daft for a bit, and there's women coming in and out, and you're sat there with a daft haircut.
Yeah.
And this is what that reminds me of.
Do you think they do it in a shop window, this brain operation?
I'm just saying, it's a bit
Do you
weird.
think, why are we doing it in John Lewis's? Just so more
I
people
love
can
the idea that that's what doctors are doing. Let's make this guy look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Open his brain
Look
case.
at the twatty look for this brain out of his head.
Take a Polaroid. Reg, take a Polaroid.
Look at him. Look at his face. Right, clock his face when I give him the mirror. Get this on camera.
Put this fake nose and glasses
Sorry,
on.
is that? Did you teach me something then? Was that
I
educational?
thought you that your brain case can be open with your awake, and you just sat there sort of letting them get on with it.
Brilliant. I've learnt that. I'll never forget that. Right, go on. Anything else?
You'll love... Let's play a song, because the next one is amazing.
What? Even more amazing than that?
Yeah. Play a song?
Yeah. Bit of Bowie.
No email still, by the way.
No, I don't think it's working.
It's not working today.
Lady
so
Stardust.
we'll have to do a phone-in for Rockbusters.
Off the Ziggy Stardust album.
Alright.
Bit of David Bowie. When's that ever hurt anyone, Steve?
Never.
Lady Stardust off Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. Karl Pilkington is in the middle of educating me. Colon then, educate me.
Right, so,
I've learnt that you can, you know, fiddle around with your brain when awake. That's brilliant.
I've never been a fan of doctors, though, so this was a good one for me to look up, because...
Yeah.
Did I tell you the time when, the doctor said, I was going to die?
Alright, keep talking.
Right, ages ago, must have been about 15, right? And, at lunchtime there was this... We used to have a choice of stuff to do at lunchtime, right? We used to have, like a burger place that had an arcade machine in it, right? So we used to go there and play on that and have a burger. Or, there was this baker's, right, that my mum worked at, and, did great cakes and stuff, right? So, she used to, like, bring some home and that, but she couldn't always bring them home every night because, you know, they'd cost money, and she used to get them for free. And they used to say they'd rather chuck them away than give them to the staff because there's a chance that the cream might be off.
Right.
Right, so they used to chuck them round the back. So I used to go round the back with my mate and eat a load.
Brilliant. Scavenging, eating out of bins.
No, it wasn't out of bins, they were still in trays, but they just stacked them up near the bins, right? So this got out, I mean, it used to be chocker. Once the school found out, everybody used to go there, and it'd be like, well, have a cake.
Headmaster crawling through, fighting the kids off.
Right, so I'd have, you know, you'd just eat, I don't know, 6 jam donuts or something, and then you'd spend your dinner money on the arcade machine.
Brilliant.
Right? So it was a good afternoon, really, right? So you'd do that, and this one day I must have had 6 or 7 jam donuts, a few Congress tarts.
What's a Congress tart?
I love them. I can't get them in London, right? So I'd have some of them.
if anyone
maybe-
can get a Congress tart for Karl in London, please let him know.
So anyway, this day, that was just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? You'd once, twice a week, you'd have a load of cake.
In your life,
Yeah, that's
So
all
anyway-
day you'll have. Were the frog boys there with the webbed hands and the big heads?
So-
and the horse in the settee? Yeah.
But the day after one of these days, I had really bad cramp in my belly. Right? I was like in agony, could hardly walk. So I said to my mum,
You could hardly stagger to the free cakes.
So, I was in absolute agony. I said, I don't like doctors, but you'll have to get a doctor in 'cause I don't know what it is. I can't walk. She gets the doctor round. I won't say his name, but he said, well, doesn't look like he's got long left.
Blimey.
So I was a bit like, hang on a minute, I've only had a few cream donuts.
Yeah,
My mum was panicking.
sure.
He went. My dad came in from work. She said, something's really bad with Karl. I think it's serious. The doctor said he ain't got long left. So he said, what? He said that and just left? So she said, yeah. He said, I'll have to call him then. So he called him up, said, what's all this about? Karl hasn't got long left. How long's he got? So he goes, I was only messing. He's just had some bad cream. Can you believe that?
Well, the thing is,
I like the fact your mum didn't ask any questions.
I know.
She didn't
But
go
she
into
doesn't
detail.
know.
No,
Well, can you explain more, Doctor? No, I got a shoe off.
No, but she doesn't. She doesn't like talking.
I don't want to diss you or your family, but I imagine if I was there, I'd have known the doctor was joking. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I sound very arrogant there, but I imagine he went, what's he been doing? I had about 6 cream cones. Oh, right. Oh, wow. He hasn't got long to live then. I'll see you later. That's what I think the doctor did.
Yeah. Just like the idea your mum just let him go.
Yeah.
Terrified, thinking, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to probe him. He's that's it then.
Dad comes in. Hi, honey, I'm home. Anything happened? The doctor said Karl's going to die and then left. Did he? I'll call him.
But anyway, that's why these sort of things fascinate me. So we'll move on to this next one, right, which is brilliant.
Go on
Dead
then.
short story. So, right, old woman, about 70 years old.
Yeah.
She's normally fit and healthy and stuff. Nothing wrong with her. She's having a good life. And one day, she goes for a check to the doctor's, just to check herself out, 'cause she's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
Says, take your clothes off and that. So she does. And checks her out. Says, yeah, you're looking good, you're looking good. Turn round. He said, oh, God. He says, you got a tumour on your buttock. Right? So she goes, oh, what, can you do anything to sort it out? So they go, yeah, we could book you in for an operation. It's best if we remove this. Books are in for an operation. Operation day comes, strip her down and that. They're all stood round, the doctors. Start to operate. It only turns out it's a pork chop that she sat on 5 years earlier and it had stuck to her buttock.
Right, Karl.
I can forward you... listen, serious.
Right, okay, Karl, I'm telling you now, I'm leaving. I'm never doing this show again.
No, I'm serious, honestly.
You're talking, I've never had such you are, play a record.
I couldn't believe it.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Stop the record. Right, okay, right, what do you mean you couldn't believe it?
No, when I read it, I said, I've got to tell Ricky
This
that.
woman had a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years, you mental case. Of course she didn't. Doves, caught by the river. People are going to think you're thick, Karl.
Well, they can think what they want, because if they do their own research, they'll probably find the story. Because it won't have happened that many
Karl,
times.
think about it. I mean, how could an old woman have a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years?
She said she couldn't remember even making one, so she was as surprised as the doctors were.
But hold on though, she presumably must have sat on it naked.
Yeah.
Didn't that bring back any memories?
I know it's weird, but...
Karl.
But why would it stay there? Why wouldn't it fall off when she had a bath or a shower?
Grease. What about a bath?
But why didn't the doctor realise that when he first looked at it?
Yeah.
Was he not paying attention when he said, I think it's a tumour? Didn't it
Karl,
not look a big
listen,
mental?
think about it. A pork chop stuck to your arse for 5 years. You're naked, you sit on a pork chop, you go, nothing. Yeah, there's nothing weird about that. I can't feel anything. Even if you had a dead leg, the time you that pork chop, what else you got dressed?
Well, she might have not have done that much. She's old, she probably just sat down and didn't move for a bit, and over time it's stuck, and then...
What do you mean over time it's stuck? Do you think the longer something there, the more it stays there?
Look, I know that's why
The
I
pork
picked
chop
it.
goes, well, we've been here a year,
Ricky,
we're
that's
not going
why
to
I
move
picked
now.
it.
I don't think we're going to move now, but I'm quite, attached to this buttock. I think I'll stay here for another 4 years until some doctor works it out.
love the idea they got her into hospital, they gave her the bed baths, they got her ready for the operation, they laid her out. They were
And
just
then-
right to take get the scissors or the knife, make the incision, hang on a minute.
This is a pork. This is a
Bring
pork
me a frying
chop.
pan.
This is a pork chop. Right.
crazy,
Well, okay. Well, if you're happy with it, then I'm happy with it. Fine.
Right,
That happened then. So did the shaved monkey who got off with a wife. Fine.
Rockbusters then, we've got a problem with the email this week.
Yeah. It's
So
the least
that-
of our problem, I think.
they're not coming through, so I'll give out the clues again, and then you can call in on 08700
Only call if you know all
1234.
three. You can rattle them off.
Yeah.
We'll do it during the next record. So
Yeah.
the number is
08700 800 1234. Right. 08700 800 1234.
Right, okay, so you got that. So
And the
call
three-
in if you know all three.
Yeah, the three, just to recap. I've got 3 other jumpers like this one, the initials FT. That bunch of people can't make up their minds if they want to sit in the sun or not, right? That's C. And the Jamaican fella had some aspirin. Why did he do that? Right? That's FD. So
Okay.
if you know them, give us a call, and it's just the first with the 3
Right,
correct
well, I
answers.
think they're calling now, Carl. So play a lovely record and take some phone calls, and let's get this.
Do you want to play this old Lulu track?
Oh yeah, don't laugh when you hear Lulu, because this is A Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie. It's a good version. Syntax, Pray, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Right, get off. Right, what you got next?
Right, well, running a bit late with this, but it's time for Do We Need 'Em? We're looking into what
I'm really
animals-
worried about this because everyone's getting that last clue wrong. I reckon it's so rubbish that even your mental fans can't work it out.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but
Give that final Rockbusters clue again.
the Jamaican fella had to have some aspirin. Why is that?
What were the initials?
Why did he have to do it?
No,
FD.
hold on, that's changed.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. The
Oh,
story's
it doesn't
still
matter. That's the point of a cryptic clue, isn't it? Oh, do. What have you got now?
there. Right, so we're looking into animals that we get rid of. I've spoken to someone about snails. I've spoke to someone about jellyfish, and that. And looking at cockroaches today.
Right, now who's the expert?
It's a woman called Jessica Marshall.
Right.
Does she know that you're going to play this on the radio?
Well, I called up, right, in the week and said, can I talk to someone about cockroaches? And she was like, is that Carl?
She knows who you are.
Yeah.
Right, so she already knows maybe your angle, your approach.
Yeah, she was
And
up for it.
she's an expert, she's just not just some random person.
No, she works in a museum, a good museum. I said I'd give it a plug. It's the one near Knightsbridge. It's got dinosaurs and that in it. It's worth seeing.
At the
And this is
Natural
her.
History Museum.
Yeah. So,
Not sure. He's not sure.
this is
Go
what
on.
happened. Now, what I'll do, I'll tell you as much as I know, and then you can fill me in if I'm right or wrong. And then at the end of it, we'll get to the bottom of whether we need them or not.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, the first thing that I found out is that that they have 18 knees.
That's not exactly possible. They're insects, so they have 6 legs.
Yeah.
And a knee is usually the junction between femur and tibia. That's sort of classic human knees and every other animal knee. So with 6 legs, you can only have 6 knees.
Could somebody sort of got mistaken for seeing one that was a bit double jointed?
I think you're grasping at straws or something.
All right. Well, we might have to come back to that one then.
Okay.
They can hold the breath for 40 minutes.
Well, they don't do that because they don't breathe in the same way as us. They breathe through little spiracles, holes down the side of the body. So, no, they're not a very apt simile because the method of breathing is so different.
What do you mean?
Because insects have a totally different system. They don't have lungs in the way that we do, and just breathing through one part of the body. They're actually breathing through every segment of the body all of the time.
So even though they've got their mouth shut, they might be able to
Their mouths have
slide.
nothing to do with breathing,
So
only
just
feeding.
so you see, maybe that's where someone's gone wrong. Someone's got hold of one and sort of taped its mouth up or something, and
Thought it was-
got bored after 40 minutes
Again,
and said, "Well, we'll call it
that's a
right."
pretty unkind thing to do to an insect, even to a cockroach.
Yeah, but it's all.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but
No. Pretty unkind thing to do to anything, even a cockroach.
something else I found out.
Yeah.
They can live for a week without an head.
Well, that's true if they don't bleed to death in the process.
But the weird thing is, when I told you that they had 18 knees, you seemed a bit sort of like, don't talk ridiculous. But then we're talking about an animal that can live without an head. So there's a little bit of truth in that one, yeah?
Yes.
Why, when it was invented, has it got that facility? Say if someone said to humans, we could do that with humans, and, you know, if you lose your head in some accident, it gives you a bit of time to sort of go back to your family and maybe write them a note. You won't be able to have a chat, but write them a note saying, it was my own fault, and it was nice knowing you.
Oh, well, that would be a useful facility, I agree, but cockroaches are great survivors. I mean, they've been around for over 300 million years. They're one of the most primitive insects.
All right. Well, I've also, is it true that they do a lot of resting? Apparently they can sort of rest for 75% of the time.
Rest?
Yeah, they just sit about doing nothing.
It's probably true of a vast proportion of the world's fauna. Well,
I mean, maybe the 25% that they are working, they're really giving it some, so it might make up.
They're probably searching out food, and they can slow down considerably. You can chill insects in the fridge, and they'll become very, very quiet. You might think they're dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure, you know, if we were sat in a fridge, you know, we'd go a bit quiet, wouldn't we? You know.
Well, you might not know much about it, of course.
Yeah, but
Not quite reading the right sources.
well, I've been using the internet.
I'm sure there are many useful sources that you could find there, but some of those seem to have been a little misleading to you.
So you don't agree with a lot of what I've told you there?
No.
So cockroaches, can we get rid of them?
No.
So we're keeping them then?
I would say so, yes.
I think we should get her on more often because she sounds like she'd be a bit of an ally, really. Because she knew immediately that you were talking nonsense. She even said, I think you should be more concerned about your sources, which I've been trying to tell you for a year. Right? The fact, I mean 18 knees, where did you get that from?
It's on the internet.
They can hold their breath for 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know what you read and take on.
Mad world, don't it?
Right.
The Cure, obviously,
Yeah.
have some.
Right, Karl's been taking phone calls for these clues. Right, and so everyone's been saying the same thing for the last one. He's been going, no, and I'm worried, I'm always worried. FD. I just overheard him on a call there going, what have I been saying? Oh, no, it's FP. Dickhead. Right, give me the clues out. It's a roll-up. Right, tell people we're really sorry to anyone who would have got that right. Okay, right, do the clues quickly. Tell them it'll be a rollover, so we have to do 3 new ones.
Do you not write these down,
You're such
I don't write the answers down in case Ricky looks over the thing and sees the answer.
Why would I cheat? I'd rather you do something right with your life.
Right, well, the clues were I've got 3 other jumpers like this one.
Yeah.
That was FT.
Yeah.
You got that. 4 tops.
Yeah, that's all right. Good, well done.
That bunch of people can't make up their minds if they want to sit in the sun or not. That was C. They were getting that. That was charlatans. Charlatan, right? A bunch of them charlatans, right?
What do you mean? What's Charlie?
No, it's like, shall I go out? Shall we? Charlatans. They got it, right? Where I went wrong with this one, the Jamaican fella, he had to have some aspirin. Why? It's my fault, you know, I'm not cutting, there's no point passing the book or anything. I said FD. A lot of people were saying, Fred Durst, like, forehead hurts, which is a good one.
Yeah, which would have been as good as any of yours.
But I made an error, so we'll roll it over.
No. What is the answer?
We'll roll the
What is the
prizes
answer?
over.
Jamaican fella what? Add some aspirin, why do that? What's the thing?
FP.
FP, it was Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne. That's awful. Karl, you've got to write these down next week.
This is
I'm
right.
sorry,
You're the producer.
I know, but I've had a busy week, haven't I? Just doing
That's
stuff
not
for
an excuse. That isn't an excuse.
Our excuse is we don't care.
Yeah. You
do
put the
care.
work in and then make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, it's better not to try than try your hardest and be rubbish. Do you see what the point? We don't care.
But you've got standards.
Yeah, and
you're not meeting them.
Think of that. You're not even reaching your standards. God.
Right, well, that's that, I guess. Well, the prizes will be giving those away next week.
Bollocks again. Just completely...
Song for the ladies to end the show with. It's from Nick Cave's new album, Nocturama. This is a track called He Wants You. Back next week.
Remember, Frida Payne. There you go, Feeder, just the way I'm feeling, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a great show lined up this week, haven't we?
Go on, what have you got planned?
Well, I've got songs from David Bowie, Thin Lizzy, Gene, AC/DC, you heard Feeder there, you got, Smiths, all that. We got a great feature, a new feature. We spoke to Karl in the week, and we worked out a new feature where, people are gonna give him sort of like problems to solve. There could be scenarios, there could be management scenarios at work, you know, problem solving, things like that, organising things. He's a very good organiser. So I'll tell you what happened. He's dropping Do We Need Him because he's getting fed up with scientists. He thinks there's a conspiracy and they're getting together and they're never going to lose an animal.
Right.
So he's just fed up with that. Rockbusters, we've got some great prizes.
Well, have you seen them yet?
Nah.
Be careful.
They're not going to be great,
I just peeked in, and all I'm going to say to you is Fools and Horses Christmas special?
Not the little one with the little car.
With the little car, yeah.
Brilliant. That is excellent. Karl, what have you got to say for yourself? Hold on, it was a rollover, wasn't it? Because you really mucked up Rockbusters last time. What was he doing? It's saying FP for the whole thing. No, FD you were saying, and it was Frida Payne.
Have you written the clues down this week? Because that seems like an obvious way to improve this.
Yeah, I'll write the clues
The week
down.
before he couldn't remember what the answer was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you learn by your mistakes and that.
You don't.
Well... So
Shall I give you a little taster? We were having a pizza in a pizza establishment. When was it? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a good organiser, I'm a good problem solver. Give me any scenario, right? Obviously he didn't say scenario. And I went, okay then, so you're the manager of this place, and there's a couple there, elderly couple, they're about 60. They've had a lovely meal. He went, yeah, right. I went, but the gentleman, he's got a little bit of a heart condition, he takes a pill after his meal, as he should, after meals. He's only taken Viagra.
Oh.
And now he's stuck in.
Wedged in?
Wedged in.
We've all been there.
It's gone, and it's stopping him getting out from the table.
Yeah.
So what would you do? He went, what? He's stuck in because of his dick. I went, yeah. He went, right. He said, I'd use the situation, I'd make cash. I said, you're not going anywhere, do you want a pudding?
Entrepreneurial. I like it, Karl.
And he went, so that's that sorted, I've got the job on that. Next, I went, okay. You won't believe it. Next day, there's a little problem in the toilets. Two gay men were having sex and they got stuck in each other. Yeah. He went, right. I'd say, is it the same fella as yesterday with the Viagra? If so, why was he let in again? He was on the door.
Yeah.
I went, it's not. It's too different. He goes, right.
Does his wife know he's cheating on him?
Yeah. He went, right, I'd go down. I'd go, and then he went, I'd say this isn't a restaurant problem, call an ambulance. Strictly speaking, not a restaurant problem, no.
But am I right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Would you give me the job if say, like, you were the boss of that restaurant and you...
Do you know what I like about this? At no point did he say, Gervais, why are you being so mental?
Yeah.
Why would someone get stuck because they took Viagra by mistake and two people get stuck in each other?
But you've heard the stories from his past. That is a perfectly legitimate situation to find yourself in. You grew up in his part of
What would you
Manchester.
do if there was two fellas with big heads and webbed feet and they had a horse in a... Well, what I'd do is... What would you do? What did you do when you first saw them?
What, saw the
kids
lads with the big heads and
Yeah.
We should very quickly remind people, if they didn't listen to that particular show, they had webbed hands.
Yeah.
Did they, or webbed feet?
Well, they had webbed hands.
Right.
And big heads.
enormous heads.
But it wasn't related.
But they weren't related
I know,
to each
they were
other.
completely
No,
separate
but I'm
people.
saying that the webbed hands isn't due to the fact they've got a big head.
No, sure.
It's two different things. We're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, hold on. If they weren't related and they both had webbed hands and big heads, I'm saying there was a condition that was related that had those two.
I don't think there was.
So what do you think the chances of that are? They're not related, and he goes, "Oh, you got a big head and webbed hands as well." Yeah, just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was related.
Right.
Because I've since seen the same problem again on another kid with a big head. His hands look good.
Right, so you think the big head is just a separate issue?
Yeah, it's a totally different illness. It's like having a headache and a cold at the same time.
Right, so not always connected.
But the weird thing is, right, and looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there's this woman who's got a big head.
Oh, yeah.
And she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big she couldn't hold it up.
Right. She couldn't hold it up. Oh God. Okay, shut up.
So when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right. And she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, you know, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't.
How big was her head?
It's big, Rich.
I don't know if it was like big, because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone. So it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just outcrops.
Yeah, right. So, so the doctor said, we can sort that out. But we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay, listen to this.
Okay,
listen.
keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What? Right?
You're quizzical yourself.
So I looked at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths.
They took a woman's head off.
Yeah, this is Asked by the Smiths. Yeah.
And if you'd like to ask Karl something, details coming up soon. How's that?
Ask by the Smiths on XFM 104.9. So, what's the email, Karl? If people want to ask you something, a problem, they've got a problem to solve. It can be anything. It could be a personal problem. It could be a scenario. It could be about war. It can be anything. But
or it could be more flippant, I suppose, and light-hearted.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I prefer stuff that I could
so you can get your teeth into.
And actually, you know, sort out.
What, like war?
War is too, it's a bit big for me, that one.
Do you think?
I don't want to get into that.
What do you mean? If Tony Blair came to you and he went, Karl, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble here. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried spin. I've tried being tough. I've tried backing down. I've tried getting other countries involved. They don't want to know. What do I do? What do I do?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one, yeah.
I don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get in the bath, put a mattress on top of you. That's it.
Sorry, why are you doing that?
Ooh, slow down.
Why are you doing that?
That's what they say you do, isn't it? If it kicks off.
If what kicks off?
If there's a war and that, you get in the bath, put a mattress on top.
Right. Did they do that in the Second World War for 6 years?
Was that making bunk beds?
That's just what I read somewhere.
Yeah.
Is the bath full of water?
No. That'd be daft.
Okay.
But I think they were enamel baths then, though. I think they'd stop a bit of shrapnel. I think the plastic ones you get nowadays would probably melt on you. And the mattress, where your dad has cut it in half, all the foam would come out and the springs would get you in the eye.
Oh, talking about my dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes, well, no, I can relate to that, that's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here, because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, do you fancy going on this? He said, oh, all right. And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something. And he said, 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, I might as well stay on the ground.
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, how are things? Are they all right? And that. He said, oh, being ripped off. I said, why? He said he ordered, do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one in half,
yeah.
right? He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment that's different to what it says in the catalogue. And he said, yeah, we'll go along with that. Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, that's great. So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought that might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, I'm not happy with this. He said, we said a deal. And oh, no, don't know what you're talking about. He said, right, don't send me your catalogues anymore. He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant. Right? So anyway, a few weeks go by. Post comes. Only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right? So he was well annoyed.
Yeah. So
he looked on the back, and it said on it, this catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you. Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done. and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, all right, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you conned me and that. But, you know, forget that. We've dealt with that. You've sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day.
Brilliant.
He said, you already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, they sorted it out. So again, you know, it's just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up.
Yeah. So, what sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like an investment.
Yeah. It's like an antique he's bought.
It's just going up every day. So,
well, keep us posted on that. That's dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions need to be asked of him.
In fact, I might set to give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Karl.
New single from Nick Cave. I think you'll enjoy
forward to it.
Yeah. That's the forthcoming single from Nick Cave from his album Nocturama. That's called Bring It On.
That's great. I must admit, I was a latecomer to Nick Cave.
He's extraordinary, yeah.
I mean, years into his solo stuff before, you know, I decided that he was brilliant.
Yeah,
fantastic.
No, he's fantastic. I had some exciting news this week, Karl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly. Because I know you'd like things to be quite samey. You like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, you know, we've had some crosswords. You know, because I remember. What did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal.
Do you want to bring it?
I'm just being honest, though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I love that, Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did he say before?
Yeah, well,
he's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew. I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, "Why's your kid?" He goes, "Oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders."
Right.
It was like that when I saw Karl, and I brought you in, and I went, "What do you think of that, Karl?" I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might have just got used to it.
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Karl.
Did you discuss it?
Karl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
Oh, it's worse than you ever thought.
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais,
yeah.
What did I do on Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing,
For those that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine. Apparently it sells quite well. It's one of the sort of female, you know, kind of issues magazines. I think it's called Company Magazine. You know, it's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello. Who's in there this year? In the 50, in the top 50 of the entire country.
And then they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser.
Yeah,
no. Which always sort of unnerves me.
And also,
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
because also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to.
No. There's a huge. I don't know if this is international. It could even be international. I'm not sure actually. So I could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake, etc. So Fred Durst. Yeah, that sort of person, you know. So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated because they were telling me that last year, all right, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is number one most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas. Okay, this year. I'm rather annoyed because all I'm going to win is a moped. That's the prize this year. That's the prize this year. A moped.
Whoa! Backtrack.
What?
Sorry. Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
just a moped. All I'm going to get is a moped.
All you're going to win is a moped.
Yeah,
you got no chance.
You've
got no chance. Who else is in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know lots of people you'd never heard of. I know Duncan from Blue.
Ding. So you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're going to come behind the other 49.
Because there are people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to Heat, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC.
Brilliant.
You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rocking.
It is. It is.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I came up with a new, strand for Karl as well. He's always got, we've done, I don't think there's a week gone where we haven't mentioned an airy kid.
A hairy child, you're right.
Yeah. And some related to a monkey and that. And I thought you could do a regular thing where he's got to come up with a story about an ape or a monkey, and it's called Chimpanzee That.
Of course.
I have got one, but I can't remember it at the moment, so I'll just have to
It'll
think
come to you
about
whenever
that.
you've joined the show. Well, listen, while you're thinking about that, while you're stewing on that, here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or, just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you. It could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It could be something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma, something that's happening locally. Anyway, this seems one that I think you and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past. And I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, and they're just generally making mayhem, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, piss off. The police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team,
and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird, because now it has got out of hand.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, years ago when I was growing up on the estate, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean?
Summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right, and
police are getting shorter and younger.
But you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything like these kids here.
The thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee. Right?
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door.
He chloroformed himself just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh God, this is a fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love it.
I can see how far I could throw
brilliant.
it.
So, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you invent that game?
Right,
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Karl, go and play with your stone.
The thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and it
Of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it, in case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh God. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. It's a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of, you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it, saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, go and get the door. And I sort of went, what? As if I'd been asleep.
Yeah.
I went to the door, like, rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, what did you run off for? I saw you. I was like, oh no. And I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings. So I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid.
Ooh.
That's all he said when he looked at me.
And then you fell asleep when he went, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
Now the thing
Karl.
is, he didn't have to do anything.
£45, Karl. Now, I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I did wrong, and I was scared that my dad was going to belt me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll be more careful next time.
But that was clearly good parenting on the part of your father, because these young tykes, clearly they don't have the
what do you do?
The father support.
I don't know if
you were living in that street, very quickly, what would you do? What would your approach be? If you were living in his street?
What if they'd come home, right, and they just vandalised all your pebbles, right, that you've been saving over the years, and just threw your gravel away? What would you do if they just...
I'd probably clout one of them.
So you'd use violence?
I think it's the only way sometimes.
Sometimes the only way.
And I don't mean, really bad, but I'd show them that I'm not putting up with this.
Right.
And then the problem is you've got their family coming round and they're probably quite
Go to sleep. If you hit a kid and the dad comes down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just
equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, a bank job or a murder.
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because if they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, I had a weird dream. It won't work.
It's like with our kid, right? He was, I told Ricky about this the other day in the pub, but
Is this your brother?
He never,
because he was a terror, isn't he?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but
he did drive a tank down the high street once, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when he was in the army.
But another story.
But this time, I remember my mum and dad were going out right for the evening, and I must have been about 5, so our Mark was like probably 18, something like that, 16, 17, 18. So my mum and dad go out, and our Mark says to me, right, here's a deal, do your little deal. I'm going to have a load of women round. Right? Deal is, I'll let you have your tractor in the house.
Wow, he had a tank, you had a tractor.
but his brother didn't have the rocks that Karl had.
No.
So he needed the tractor to put his toys
What kind
on.
of a man was he? He brought a bunch of women round?
So, there was loads of... But do you know when you're a kid, you don't think, I know what they're up to. You're not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean? As long as I've got my tractor, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I was...
He hasn't changed a bit.
But how many women did he have? Was it just him and a bunch of women?
Yeah.
Was it like, what's his name? What's his name? Looked like Nedwell from Confessions.
Yeah.
Confessions of an older brother.
They all just came round and
He liked his women. Seriously, right, my mum and dad had to move because they got sick of women coming round saying, I've got a kid and it's your Mark's. They had to move because it got that bad.
Did you hear, when you were playing on your tractor and there was women running back and forth in underwear, did you ever hear this noise? Did you ever hear that?
Or kind of wow, 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 wow.
Wow, 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 wow. And just see your brother's arse disappearing down the thing
exactly.
being chased by a butcher. Did you ever...
It's not important, is it?
Is that what it's going to be like, do you think, when I'm voted #1 most eligible bachelor in Great Britain?
Yeah, and you come in on your moped.
I mean, no, am I going to get a tractor?
Chewing brakes, painkiller. Open brackets, summer rain, close brackets. On XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Rockbusters?
Is it that time?
It is indeed. Last week, of course, it was a disaster.
Yep, every Saturday at 16 minutes to 2, we do Rockbusters.
I have to say that I've not really gone through them, but the prizes look exactly the same as they were last week.
Yeah.
There's that T-shirt.
So it's a rollover, but you haven't added to it.
Have you not
The
added
point of a
anything to
rollover is you've got to add to it. That's the excitement.
Yeah, there's a couple of albums that were...
Okay, well, there's also the Fools and Horses video with the free...
I don't think... I'm bloody jealous of that. I like that little yellow thing.
It's a little, there's a little kind of model three-wheeled van.
Rodney, you plonker.
Oh, dear.
What's that?
This is what looks to be some kind of best-of the stereo MCs.
Don't call me a plonker, you wanker.
The David Attenborough DVD collection.
Oh, Unc shit himself again.
Oh, yeah, the big prize that we tried to give away. Best chill out album. Who is that supposed to be an impression of? Which member of the cast is that? Is that Cheeky Dell?
I don't know.
Best chill out album ever, the best air guitar volume 2.
Brilliant.
And of course, for all our fans, Doctor Who, The Aztecs. That's on DVD, and that's one of the William Hartnell Doctor Who. Alright. That's the worst impression I've ever heard. That's brilliant.
Right, Rockbusters then.
Right, three cryptic stuff. Oh, come on.
Right.
Rodney,
Three... I can't do it.
No, come on!
Right, three cryptic clues.
some of which may be wrong.
Yeah, and don't take the letters literally.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
And some initials, and it makes up a band. So here we go then. There's 3 of them. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yeah.
Right, here we go then. Number 1. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's R.
That's R.
Right.
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
All right, give us that again.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out. What's the initial?
R again.
R again, interesting.
Yeah. And then the third one, if you're going to do that with your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
CK.
All right.
Once more?
So quickly, all the way through then. Number one, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's R. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And then the last one, if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Right, we'll have a bit of vinyl.
Let's have a classic from the Merchant Collection.
That's going to be the new single. Eminem. Sing for the moment. I like that.
not
On
bad,
XFM, 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. All right, Karl?
All right.
What's the matter? Huh?
Just, you know what's the matter.
What?
Should I explain?
If you want.
I'm sort of an independent adjudicator, and I couldn't help but notice that you both went out to make the teas, but only one of you came back with a wig made out of that poppy stuff that you pack.
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap, yeah. That you
And he
pack
didn't
into-
want me to do it with sellotape, so I kindly did it with elastic bands that I found. Apparently it hurt his ear, it's cut into his head, and look at him, he's annoyed. I don't know.
There's not many times I've ever done, any form of work really, where halfway through it, let's say a 2-hour live radio show, one of the people has said to the other, can I make out of this big cardboard box a bishop's hat for you?
Well, I did that, and
start fashioning that.
And
when you
yeah,
should be
but and the
concentrating on the
sellotape
show.
hurt his eyebrows. So when we went to the kitchen, I kind of did it with elastic bands, and that was cutting into his ear or something. I don't know, making excuses. Oh,
Carl, you are here for Ricky Gervais's amusement. I think if you check the small print of your contract.
have you got anything interesting about a monkey or an ape, so we can do chimpanzee that?
I know something that a lot of other people will know, but I'll
Well, let's do it then.
What's it called again?
Well, should we do a jingle?
Well, do a little jingle for us then.
Oh, chimpanzee that!
Brilliant. That's great.
Right.
So I look forward to that every week.
Yeah.
And what's
Go on,
your
is this
interesting
interesting
chimp
fact?
fact?
Right, it's about this monkey ages ago.
Of course.
Don't know where it happened.
17th century?
I think it was a chimp. Right. Got caught having a fag. You know it.
What do you mean, do I know it? Oh, narrow it down. Loads of chimps are caught with woodbines.
Right. He was
having a fag.
So it was sent to court. And
Was it underage?
it was
And it got someone to go into the newsagent for him.
Did he get a bigger gorilla to go into the newsagent to get 20 Rothmans?
it ended up doing time. Because it was
Go
smoking
back a minute.
something.
Wait a minute.
What I mean-
Whoa.
No, I don't know that's as much as I know, so there's no point questioning.
That is as much as you know, isn't it? Quite literally.
Sorry, but why did he go to prison?
It's against the law to have a monkey having a fag.
In a built-up area. What are you talking about? It's against the law for a monkey to have a fag. What if it got it himself? Even if it just... What about if it earned it himself, just like moving tyres round or mucking out the zebras?
I don't know the full story.
You don't know the full story, do you?
But do you think...
You never do you?
Presume it was a monkey from a zoo, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be fed up, though? Because in a way, it's home from home, isn't it? When I read it, I didn't think it was that bad, because I just
Carl,
thought, well...
they don't put monkeys in prison.
They didn't put the monkey in a prison.
They're overcrowded. They haven't got the space.
Well, I'll find it and give you the where I got it from, and you
Chopper Harris was furious because the monkey got the top bunk.
Yeah.
Can I just...
And he did. Okay, then... Oh, chimpanzee that. Another one next week.
I don't think so. Rockbusters, right? Can I just recap?
Yeah, because actually I have to say you've really stumped people this week.
Yeah.
Well, either that or they just can't be bothered
wrong.
anymore.
Well, oh, they're wrong again.
No, right.
I
let
think
me
the prizes are so pitiful they can't be asked.
Let me just explain it again, just in case they don't understand it. It's a cryptic clue, right? And it makes up a band, and the initial that I
Sometimes.
give you is the initial that the band or the artist starts off with. So last week, I can't remember, but we did AK, an exploding pet, atomic kitten. That explains it. So very quickly, number one.
No, last week we did FP that you gave out the clue. FD, Frida Payne.
Yeah, it was an error. So
They're all right this week, though, are they?
Yeah, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's the cryptic clue, and the letter is R. Number two.
That's the rainy smell, boys.
Right. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? that's R as well. And the last one, if you're
That's rigging nanny.
if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. That's CK.
Right.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Plus, keep your problems and queries coming in for Karl. We've got another one as well, which I'd like to give you after the next track, Karl, if I may. All right?
All right.
You've got a problem, haven't you?
What with? Oh, yeah.
Listen to this, Karl.
Let's play a record. Let's come back with this.
It's an amazing problem. Wow. You're getting celebrities asking you questions now, Karl. That's David Bowie. Is there life on Mars? Do you reckon?
I reckon there's more going on than just us messing about. I reckon.
I hope so.
I think.
Tell Steve your problem that you aired to me.
Well, do you know, like I'm always thinking about stuff when I'm washing up.
I'm just going to look at Steve for the reaction when this question comes out. Okay.
There's been a few things I've been thinking about. Do you know, like how I tried to confuse a computer by putting in Y in the search engine?
Yeah.
So, along the lines of that, I was thinking in the week, if you put a chameleon on a mirror, what would happen?
Right.
And also, this is a bit of a bigger issue. We're always making more and more stuff, right, in the world. You know, big buildings, big planes, big boats and that. Will we ever get to a point where all this is too heavy for the world to handle?
Right, what error has he made there, Steve? What physical, scientific error has he made there with that question?
I can't begin to explain it.
Karl, we're not getting the rocks from other planets. It's already here. It's like having a big pile of books in a room and then moving them over to the other side of the room and build a thing going, oh, can the room take it? I'm building a lot of things out of these books.
What about plastic? Where's that come from?
Other chemicals that existed on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you see the point?
Hang on a minute, though. What about a little tree? You plant that as an acorn, it grows, Rick. That's bigger. That's more stuff.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him, Karl. He's patronising
What
you.
about acorns and that, though?
Right. They grow from minerals and proteins already in our atmosphere or in our the mass of Earth.
What about a cat, Karl? Right, you get it. It's a very tiny kitten, but it grows up and it's bigger.
Karl, he's doing it on purpose.
Elephants.
They're very small to begin with, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and so they get heavier and heavier.
Mind you, dinosaurs have gone.
You know, but you... famously that's how Atlantis disappeared. You know, you've heard of the legend of Atlantis. Have you heard of the legend of Atlantis?
I think so.
This was a city that existed, is proven, right? And what happened was they just kept buying stuff in mail order. They just kept ordering stuff, like the king and stuff. Just kept ordering stuff in mail order. He brought girls across,
carpets, a lot of carpets.
He kept buying TVs, big screen TVs and stuff like that. And eventually,
he bought up all the myrrh that the wise men didn't want.
Yeah, because he's from like olden times, and he just kept buying stuff, crazy. Like he was just a shopaholic, basically.
Mental it was.
And he was ludicrous. It was like, and in the end, it just sunk. It just sunk.
Too heavy.
And it just sunk.
So, to the Earth, the more planes we build, the more trees we let grow.
Yeah.
From acorns.
And more than that, what about all the people who are overeating?
There's only one thing to
Wallace
do
in this world.
I think we've got to kill off endangered species and burn trees. That's the only way the Earth can survive. You mental. Right, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay, look, quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Karl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
The arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks.
Right.
And then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with, it's actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, don't go along with it. But if they're half bad, put up with it. That's
Sure.
all right. The dancing.
Brilliant.
Right?
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggy's. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves.
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was, pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and it had become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry, how is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before, you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing, you didn't even get in the that's not an imagine if that was a film! This is a boy's dreams of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, that was Billy Elliot. Do you think it would have won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose. All right?
Yeah.
I'm fed up they banned it. Let's go. Oh, it's shut. Flash dance. First, there was... it's a warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So... There's always other things.
Just think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's
solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee if you follow that advice.
So the advice there is do an arranged marriage.
If she's not ugly.
minging, she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing. Get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great. Keep your problems coming in.
Truth, Rest Your Head by Gene on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. While I was with Karl in that restaurant, while I was giving him the problems, the old fella with Viagra and the two fellas making love in the cubicle, we came up with a new idea, because he's dumping do we need him? As I say, he thinks the scientists have got together, they're never going to wipe out a limpet or a slug. They think they're good, but they're not that good. This is people that are lauded as great minds, and Karl has brought them down.
He's taken issue with them.
Like what? He went, right, great thinkers, and I went, okay, then, Sir Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics. He went, is he the fellow with the apple? I went, yeah. He went, there again, see? Why do I need to know that the Earth sucks us towards it, gravity? He said, if I was floating around, it would be a problem. I'd ask his opinion. I went, what about Einstein? He went, again, I've never needed, and this is what he said, I've never needed MC squared in my life. The fella who invented the video, I watch one a day.
You know what I mean, though? Give credit where credit's due.
Right.
And I think that a lot of this stuff that was invented, like when we were talking about inventions, I started to look in books and that, finding stuff out. And there was some fella who got a mention on an invention site just because he came up with the fishbowl. And it's like, is it that hard?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's clearly a bowl.
Sorry, you're not putting him in the same category as Newton and Einstein, are you?
He was on the same list. Einstein was on there. It was saying about him doing that. And Newton with the apple. And who else was in there? Da Vinci, whatever. He was
Leonardo
on there.
da Vinci.
Yeah. Is he the one who did Mona Lisa as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it took him 12 years to paint the lips. I don't think that's that good. Like, it takes that long. I saw, when you saw Tony Hart do like an Aborigine man with a elephant in the background in about 3 minutes.
Aborigine. An Aborigine?
Yeah.
Really? And an elephant?
So what about some of the big names?
Well,
Just
go on,
what's your first reaction when I say some big names from history?
Go on.
Gandhi.
Again, what did he do?
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
But all right. Do you understand what he represents?
Well, go on, tell me, and then I'll tell you if he deserves to be mentioned.
His whole kind of attitude towards peaceful protest. It's quite a sort of modern idea. Very much the forefather of the 60s movement. Where people would sort of sit in, and protest.
Steve. Right, look at the glazed look on his face.
Did I lose him on Gandhi?
Yeah. So just
Pick
it's
someone
not.
else. Do someone else.
Pick someone else. Okay.
Right.
Someone you know about that's obviously. Let's think. A great thinker. Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Right. Yeah, he's all right.
Brilliant. Thanks. What about
Jesus Christ?
Well, I'm thinking more your modern day, like your Richard Bransons and that.
Okay.
Who,
I would. To be fair, I wouldn't put Branson up there with Gandhi.
Christ, Newton,
Christ.
Einstein.
But why?
Stephen Hawking.
Because he's mainly known for having a beard and a funny jumper. To be honest, you have to start including Noel Edmonds.
That's Noel Edmonds, yeah, you're getting confused there.
But Branson's a businessman. He's not one of the great sort of, scientific minds.
I think
or philosophical thinkers.
in time.
Whereas Clive Sinclair, in his little car, on his way to work, brilliant.
No, but in time, there's certain things like the apple falling off a tree.
Right.
Whoever was sat there would have gone, that's a bit odd. Do you know what I mean? It's just that they were there first.
But to be fair, Christ instigated 2,000 years of religion based on his teachings. Richard Branson, to be fair, he did launch Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Yeah,
they're not quite comparable.
It depends what you get impressed by, doesn't it? Suzanne's always saying...
Maybe Newton was there. He was coming up with a brilliant theory. Amazing. He was probably inventing the helicopter, right? The apple hit him in the head and he went, the earth's sucking me. The earth's sucking me. Do you know what I mean?
Could have happened. But so, my girlfriend's always saying, what impresses you?
Yeah.
Because she was saying the other day, do you want to go to Egypt? And I said, no, not really. No. She goes, well, don't you want to see the pyramids?
Not interested.
It's like, I've seen them on the telly.
Okay.
Sure.
Are they going to be that much more amazing when you see them in real life?
Good point. How did you ever move out of your street in Manchester?
But hang on, no, sorry, I'm interested to know because this is something that he came up with, and this is someone that loves him and that he respects. So I'm interested to see what was your answer to what impresses you?
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, the odd thing.
You just said I'm asleep.
Little things like I ran home the other night and said, I've just learnt something today. She goes, go on. And do you know Lego bricks?
Oh yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, let go of them and come and have your dinner.
Play a record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to be rubbish.
It's always rubbish, isn't it?
They're Scandinavian for a start. So Scandinavian. Boys are back in town. Thin Lizzy, what a classic.
Beautiful.
Karl, should that be our anthem? Me, you, and Steve, eh? Yeah.
Can I just get a couple of bits of admin out of the way?
Go on.
We've had an email from Peter Goff. He has said, where is Richard Anderson?
Where
he
is Dickers?
He only tunes in to listen to him.
Where's Dickley? Where's little Dicky Docker?
Little Dicky Anders has not emailed in. If you don't listen normally, Anders is our biggest fan.
He loves us. I just absolutely
But he's normally got a little bit of constructive criticism, which we always appreciate.
Yeah, we're open to that. Sure.
Exactly.
Sure.
I'm gonna shove this up your... So if Dickie Anders is listening, then he might want to get in touch. Also, dear Ricky, I've developed a bit of a fetish for the way you say winners in your hit sitcom The Office. I'm trying to get my fiancé to say it, but he hasn't quite mastered it yet. Anyway, we're getting married in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks' time. Could you please say winners on air as a sort of wedding present?
It's becoming one of the most popular requests at weddings now, me saying winners. So, winners. There's a few I didn't get in. Thatcham, Shinfield. So there's a Woodley.
There you are.
There you go.
That's beautiful. That's keeping them happy. Good luck to them. That's Leopard. That's one of those stupid email names. If you're going to email us, at least mention your name, because otherwise it makes me sound like a fool.
A leopard, the original name for a giraffe.
Interesting. Thanks for that.
Whereas Lego was invented when a mother had sent someone to get some. Though there's no name for them. She went, "Can you go and get some?" There was a gap. He went, "Oh yeah, I'll go and get some," because they weren't called anything. Brought them back. Started playing with her. And then she went, "Look, give me those." He went, "No." She went, "Lego, you idiot."
Yeah, the actual explanation, various people have emailed us in or phoned in now. The company was set up in 1934. It's a Danish company, obviously.
Yeah.
Lego comes from the Danish words leg got, which means play well, and it was later discovered that it was also a Latin phrase that meant I study or I put together. That's the actual, where did you get that from?
But the thing is, you see, that's where learning's got to be interesting, because if it even started like that, I'd just go, I'm not interested. I'd be looking for...
So if a fact might be true, but it's just not good enough.
It's not interesting enough for you.
Not interesting enough.
Okay, another quick dilemma for you, Karl.
So if Newton would have said, apples are attracted to our heads, be careful, they attack you, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Total bollocks, but you'd have been interested, therefore, in all modern physics. All right?
Here's another dilemma for you, a quick one from Kate. She says that she's a single woman, she's 6 foot tall. Recently she's found herself being approached by men of, let's say, restricted height. And she's not desperate, but is it ever acceptable in her, she wants to know now, is it ever acceptable for a taller lady to go out with a person of restricted growth? What do you think about that? If you see that on the street, do you think it looks bizarre? Do you think it looks odd? Or
so
should she
a
just go with
6 foot woman with,
someone of a dwarfish persuasion.
We can't say sort of that or the midget word, but I mean,
can't say that, no, that's
as a little fella.
Yeah. Is that so? There's a noticeable difference in their height. Is that ever a problem? Do you feel?
She's 6 foot. He's 3'4".
Yeah.
If I saw it, I'd just think she's doing it.
Okay, let's not do this now.
No, come on, she's doing it what?
Oh.
No, for attention in a way. Because there's loads of other people.
I told you, Steve.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just I mean, is that serious?
I think so.
Well, I mean, if it, whatever makes you happy.
Please don't ask Karl these sort of questions.
Do you know what I mean? If it makes her happy, then do it. But in a way, you're not going to have a normal life.
Oh, God.
No, but you're not, because they're going to get sick. There's no point bringing trouble onto yourself.
Karl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of
anybody else in the world.
Hold on. This woman, she doesn't live in a forest in a little cottage, does she? She hasn't got long black hair and wears a sort of...
She says the guy she's going out with is a miner.
Really?
In a crystal mine, yeah. And he just sings all day on his way to work.
Has he got 6 mates?
Apparently so.
Okay, what do you think of that, Karl?
I'm still... Sorry, I wasn't listening. I just was thinking about...
Someone just called up and called him dopey.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
I mean, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you today?
I'm just saying.
What, you're fed up with people taking issue with some of the stupid things you say? Lego was invented by a mother going, Lego of that. What are we going to do with all the buildings? The earth might collapse. What do you expect people to say? Well, even our listeners know you're talking rubbish, and some of those aren't allowed to wear socks. I mean...
Listen, right, last week when I did Do We Need Them, do you know when I called up one of the museums in a science museum?
Yeah, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wanted to tell you before when the song was on, but you're so busy listening to it.
Yeah, was I so busy listening to a song I was playing?
Yeah, but we're doing a radio show, aren't we?
Alright, what's your point?
Well, I just wanted to say, she emailed in to say I got her name wrong, so I'm just apologising for that.
What did you call her?
I think I called her Jessica.
What was her name?
I don't know, I got it on email somewhere.
What?
This is not an apology!
No, I'm
You've
just
got
saying...
it wrong again!
You've not even said her real name! How is that an apology?
Well, I remember, I read the email, so, yeah,
But who are you apologising to?
I think her name's Jackie, I think.
Oh, you've got it wrong again, haven't you?
Well, anyway, and she just said if you want to see dinosaurs and that, go to the museum.
You were complaining about that as well, weren't you? You went to a museum and there was too many dinosaurs. He said you just need 4.
No, well, Steve, have you been to the one in Knightsbridge?
I think
this
so.
One that I called up, right? It's nice. You go in, you get a good collection of stuff. You walk in, there's 3 or 4 dinosaurs. You've had enough, right? I went into New York, right? I went to the museum there, hundreds of them. You can't move for dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're responsible for them being extinct. There's loads of them. So all I'm saying is, if you want to see a dinosaur, go to the one near Knightsbridge. They've got a nice selection, some old vases and stuff. It's worth going. So,
do you work for them? Because that was a pretty big sell.
Well,
you could work that into quite an advert, I imagine. Brilliant. Karl, you're fed up, aren't you? Because you had to get up early.
Well, that's another thing, but will we give out the answers for...
Let's do that after we've played the next tune. I have to say that I'm wondering if Rockbusters, like Do We Need Them, is beginning to run its course, because this week we've had very, very few right answers. I think you're just getting too complicated.
Yeah, because his clues and his answers are rubbish. Why don't you start doing proper ones?
These are good. We started off easy. If you remember.
I think some of them are a bit tortuous.
They
but
don't
anyway,
work. Some of them don't work.
Well, come up with some stuff then.
Let's play a tune.
Well, I have.
And we'll come back with the Rockbusters answers in a second.
You haven't come up with anything.
The Gravediggers, 1-800-SUICIDE. It's a good tune, that. I've always enjoyed it.
XFM 104.9. Well, that's nearly it from Ricky Gervais. That's me, Steve Merchant.
One of the 50 most eligible bachelors in Britain. I hope people as well, if you buy Company Magazine, if there's any ladies listening, every week, of course, I've played you a song for the ladies, and I hope now that you'll be able to return the favour and maybe vote for me. Buy Company Magazine, vote for me, so I become 50, the number one eligible bachelor.
That wouldn't mean anything then, would it?
What do you mean?
Well, it wouldn't mean anything then, would it? If they voted you and you got into the top 30, it wouldn't mean anything because you've asked them to do it.
What are you talking about? Of course, because it means that they care for me enough, and then they are impressed and charmed by enough that they've actually made that effort. That's beautiful.
I think that would ruin it.
Well, let's wait and see what the results are.
Do you think? Getting off that, because we don't want Steve uses a platform to get in the top 48. That's bound to. He's bound to beat a couple of people. But what do you think of him now, Carl? Now you've known him for these many years. What do you think of his looks objectively now that you've known him? Can you remember what you first thought?
Like I say, he's changed a bit. He's sorted himself out a bit.
Yeah.
Looks a bit better.
How? What's he done? What's he
I
done?
don't know. His hair's better.
Yeah, what was it before?
It was just a bit nothingy. Do you know what I mean? It was like just like if you just let your hair grow and do its own thing. Whereas now it's got a style.
Yeah.
So it looks good.
Glasses, he's changed.
His glasses are stylish.
Yeah.
Just stay sat down.
Like Rockbusters.
Some people like tall men.
Yeah, go on.
That's right. First one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was R, which was rainbow. Right?
Rainbow?
Like rain is the weather, and it smells like body odour. Body odour.
No, it's B.O.
It's B.O. That's
It's pronounced
B.O.
B.O.
Well, yeah, but you've got to play.
It's not pronounced bow, and it's not spout bow.
Who calls it bow? Everyone knows it's B.O.
What, you don't care? You don't care that doesn't work?
Well, they got it, so again, as long as
One
they're getting
person
it,
got
as
it,
long as
Carl.
they're getting it.
One person got it. Of all the emails, one person got it.
Second one, look, Gran, just get on the boat, will you, and help us out.
Go on.
That was R. That was a Ronan, right?
Ronan, who's Ronan?
Ronan.
Who's Ronan?
Ronan Keating.
But he's known as
That's
Ronan Keating.
No, he's not.
RK.
No, he's not anymore, though. He's gone on his own, hasn't he? He's just known as Ronan.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. It's Ronan Keating.
He's always been known as Ronan Keating.
All right.
So that doesn't work like that. Go on.
Third one.
Next.
If you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a little bit before you open it. That was CK.
Right.
Shake a can. Shake a can. If you're going to shake, you can.
This is the worst competition ever.
So
It's Chaka.
have you got?
It's Chaka. It's Chaka. It's Chaka Khan.
Shake a can.
No, Chaka Khan.
What you got?
Chuck a can might have worked. To throw a can.
Who got all three right then?
Well, because basically what happened was people
We're
just
stopping
emailed in 3 guesses.
We're stopping
and
this.
the guesses that were right came from Mandy Thompson in Hendon.
Let's ruin
but
that
frankly,
one then. Well, let's run that into the ground. That's Do We Need 'Em ruined.
No, we can't just bin everything on 1 week.
I don't think we're going to get that. Oh, they're not as good as they think they are because you've only picked on Newton Einstein. You don't know anyone else. You don't know who Gandhi is. Chimpanzee that. You've run out of
I did like the jingle for that though.
Oh, chimpanzee that.
That was a great jingle.
Yeah,
But sadly we won't be able to use that again.
So who's won anyway?
Well, it was Mandy Thompson I mentioned, but as I say, she guessed, so I mean, she can have the prizes, she's welcome to them. But,
Yeah.
I think we should knock it on the head, Carl. Maybe you should come up with something
Yeah.
new.
No, I think he's still got a few weeks in it.
I think we should take some time off.
Well,
Yeah. What about, like, the foreseeable future?
Don't know.
song
does
for
that
the
sound?
lovers. Do you want to just play
A song
that?
for the ladies. Listen, I think it's maybe the March issue of Company Magazine. Buy that. Top 50 most eligible people. There's probably an address or a phone number to call. And here's another song for the ladies, maybe just to charm you further. Tom the Model by Beth Gibbons and Rustin Man.
Carl, say
Carry
goodbye
on.
and say it nicely, like you're happy.
See you later.
Is that the best you can do? Badly drawn boy, born again on XFM 104.9. There we are then. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington, raring to go. He's a bit grumpy, Karl. Woken up at 8
Because he's
o'clock.
from the north.
Yeah, because he's in London.
Yeah.
And London's rubbish, right, isn't it? Oh. Well, you can't even get a Band-Aid in London, can you? Or grouting. In Manchester, I could walk to the next shop and definitely get some Flash or maybe some Vim. You can't get it down here. You got to go to a trendy bistro, haven't you? Karl, why are you grumpy?
I told you before, I'm just a little bit tired today.
Because he had to get up. The builders next door woke him up.
No.
He's always going about his hours. Those builders probably got up at 6.
Yeah, but
to
I
get
can
there at
understand builders who get up early because they're building outside and they've got to get the job done before it gets dark. But he's working in someone's lounge. If it gets dark, put the light on. It's not a problem. So why is he starting work at like 7 o'clock in the morning?
Well, because the builders get paid by the day, and if you get a builder there and go, I'll just do 11 till 3, he's not going to go, I'll tell you what, love, just give me 40 quid. I didn't do a whole day. It's a day's work, isn't it? So you want to get the most out of them, don't you?
Plus, he probably wants to finish early so he can have a good night out.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night, you know what I mean? He wants to...
Yeah, he wants to get at least 15 pints in.
And he was cheery, I bet he was whistling and, dancing around
dancing
and tapping, so I don't know how you can be annoyed at that. Why don't you get earplugs?
I don't like it, the idea of earplugs.
Why?
Because I live in a flat, so it's not as if I'm looking after my house, right?
I know. Already, I've lost you.
No.
That wasn't even a whole sentence, and I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but what I mean is,
What?
if you live in a house, right, you know that you've turned the lights off downstairs. You know you haven't got a frying pan on, right?
Right.
So-
Okay, not really.
Keep him going.
But I live in a flat, and I don't know what the other people are like. There might be some daft people in there who
God,
don't,
imagine that.
right, who don't turn stuff off. Now, if I have earplugs and the fire alarm's going off, I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to have a good sleep, but who knows what could happen? So I don't like earplugs. It's not safe
Okay.
if you live in a block of flats.
But I think you'll find, because I've used them, I think you'll find that a fire alarm will cut through
I
the
wear them
earplugs.
sometimes if it's noisy or I want to go to bed early or something, and I hear my alarm clock, and it goes beep, 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 beep. It's
All right
that
then.
loud.
Okay, well-
and a fire alarm is deafening.
All right, so we've talked in the past about snails who sleep for 13 years.
No, you have. That's never been confirmed. In fact, the expert hadn't heard of it.
Well, they do.
Okay.
I read it on different sites.
Okay.
So how much does it take to wake them up? Got you.
What do you mean?
Well, they sleep for 13 years.
Yeah, but it's probably. But I don't know what you mean by sleep. It's not the same sort of pattern that we have in a mollusk, is it? There's different. What is sleep? It's
when you're sort of shut down, and
But they can estivate. They can actually literally
no, but
shut
they didn't
down.
say that. They said they sleep for 13 years. And I mean, have you ever had like more than 10 hours sleep?
Yeah.
Feel really groggy.
Well, no, I feel good after 10 hours sleep.
I feel rough. I just was thinking what a snail would be like. Be like, oh.
Be even slower than normal.
Be even slower than you. Play a record.
Well, anyway.
Email in if you know what on earth Carl's talking about.
Wu-Tang Clan. Uzi on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a lot to get through. We got things like Radiohead to play. We got Feeder. We got Teenage Fan Club. We've got 2 new competitions, Steve.
Go on.
A great one coming up. A film competition.
I'm excited.
That's great. And a music-based competition.
Is it right to say that Rockbusters is no longer?
We've still got Rockbusters. It's hanging on by the skin of its
I
teeth.
thought we got rid of that. I thought we'd all agreed that we got rid of that rubbish.
No, I think we should do it. I think people like
Nobody
it.
wants it.
It's because he got his name in Heat now. It's
No,
Ricky Gervais,
honestly.
Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington, and Heat said they like Rockbusters. That's why. He's
Carl, I
pandering.
thought we had a
He's
meeting and we
pandering.
agreed it was not going to happen anymore.
He's worried about the fans.
There's a guy here emailed in. He just emailed in 3 band names. He said, I may as well email in now on the off chance these are right because it's such an arbitrary quiz.
Yeah.
It's essentially a waste of time. The clues are so complicated.
D. Frida Payne. That was a classic. That was a classic Rockbuster, wasn't it?
When they start getting a bit ridiculous and that, and people aren't getting them,
Oh.
then we'll.
You can't drink that pop now. Shaka Khan.
No,
That was another piece of genius.
Well, I think we've already reached that stage, Carl, to be
I've
truthful,
only
mate.
just got in this river, and there's loads of logs. Justin Timberlake, he said river. Lake, he said river. Lake, he said river. Just few of the highlights of Rockbuster.
Can you please promise that this is the last one today? Because it's really, I think it's bringing the show down.
Steve, he can't promise he'll remember the answers today. How can he promise what's going to happen next week?
I still think it's got legs in it. Let's just see how it goes next week.
You're not going to bring it back next week. It's got to be finished. We've got to put an end to it. We've got to give it a sort of final sending off.
Okay, I'll tell you
We've got
what.
to smother it, Carl, for its own good.
I do want to trial this new film quiz we've got because it's. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's the best competition we've come up with, to be quite honest. I mean, Karl, you agree, don't you?
It's all right, yeah.
Yeah. It's a film-based quiz.
Right.
We'll play you a clip from a classic film. I can tell you the film we're going to play. It's The Sixth Sense.
Right.
And there'll be a question afterwards, and you can win The Sixth Sense.
On DVD.
Yeah. Not the ability to sort of tell when someone's behind you, but just
No.
this film. You know. Do you believe in sort of like extrasensory sort of perception and stuff, Karl?
Ghosts and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Not ghosts, no. The fact that people maybe can sense, beings.
There was a woman in on the Christian's breakfast show, right?
Yeah.
Blind woman.
Right.
Clairvoyant.
Is that her name?
Forgot. But she was a bit useless.
She's a bit useless.
I'm always worried about what's going to come out of
I'm
Karl's
worried
mouth.
what you mean. What?
Do you know what I mean?
She's a bit rubbish at being a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think if you're not that good at something, don't go on the radio and do it.
Carl, you better leave.
So what? Sorry.
Well, she was saying.
So
like,
what was the relevance of her being blind? What was that for? What did you tell
I
me?
just thought it was a bit weird. I think she was using that because the fact that she can't see living people, but she can contact the dead ones.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a bit
so
weird.
sorry. This is XFM 104.9. Once again, Karl's opinions do not necessarily reflect anyone.
Those of any human being.
Any other person alive today.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Karl.
but
So
listen-
how did she demonstrate her clairvoyance?
Right,
And why was it not very convincing?
She was sat in the chair you're at, right? And people called up and said,
I sensed that.
Weird.
They called up and they said, right, can you have a word with me, Gran?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, she's dead, isn't she? And it's like, yeah. He goes, oh, and everyone's like, oh, she knows her stuff.
It was 50-50 to be fair.
Yeah, and especially with a gran, because the person sounded about 35, so the chances are they haven't got a gran anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just
Unless it's the fellas from Busted, because they, in the year 3000, they've only got to a great-great-granddaughter, and that's 1,000 years, so presumably, they can live a lot longer.
Yeah. I just wasn't convinced anyway. I don't want to diss her because, she came in and she did her stuff, and if people believe in it, I'm not going to put it down, but it just was a little bit
You
odd.
believe in it? You just think she didn't have the real power, as opposed to it being rubbish.
No, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what we were talking about there. So we've got the film thing going.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Film.
What were you talking about earlier about glasses as well, and Steve taking his glasses off? What was that?
What are you saying that in front of him now for?
Was it an insult?
It wasn't really an insult.
Carl, what were you up to?
No, what was it? I genuinely don't remember. I genuinely don't remember.
Right, Steve, I'm not having a go. Right? Just saying how people, it's a bit weird that you've got glasses because you've got a good pair of eyes on you. Right? That isn't an insult.
What were you talking about though? What was it? Why did
It was the fact that people who wear glasses always look a bit weird without them on. It's like, they should wear glasses.
Okay. Why did we get round to this? What was we talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
It sounds like an insult, even it wasn't intended as one.
It wasn't.
It sounds like an insult, Carl.
It does, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I
But
should be
listen-
allowed to punch you every time you insult me now.
No, but I'm not
I'm
having a
doing
go.
it. I'm going to give you a dead arm.
Look, Steve, it's you. You always
Even if it wasn't, you intended it to be one.
What you?
Oh, that was real. Play a record.
But
It's
That's what you
mad.
get every time you insult me from
That's
now on.
mad. Oh, is this the Cardigans? Great, brilliant.
I didn't even say anything.
It makes me feel better. I can enjoy the rest of the show.
Cardigans, and for what it's worth, in my opinion, one of the best things they've done for many a year. It's XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
I sometimes wish you spoke like that for real, because I wouldn't leave the studio with a headache then. There you are, see? It's just come stinging back.
Oh, dear.
A lot of people I meet people in the street, they go, I wish I was Ricky Gervais's mate. No, you don't. Let me put your mind at rest now. You're not missing anything, am I right, Karl?
Who says that walking along the street?
No, people
With that
shout
ever
it.
been said.
They shout out.
What are you thinking? Oh, just thinking. I wish I was Ricky Gervais's mate.
No, I've met people that are friends of
There we
friends.
go.
or-
He must be fun to be
Yeah,
with.
exactly. He must be a great
in an
laugh.
enclosed space.
Yeah.
In an echoey small space.
Oh, imagine sharing a prison cell with Ricky.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it, Karl? Oh, that would be fantastic. Well, I'd be the daddy, wouldn't I?
I hate it.
The suicide rate in the prison would shoot through the roof.
Yeah. Now come over here and suck mummies. Now listen.
What do you reckon, Karl, to being Ricky's friend? Did you find that an exhilarating experience, something that you enjoy and look forward to?
It's all right for about an hour, and then anything over that is when he's just messing about and he wants to hit me on the head with a tray.
We went for lunch yesterday, didn't we? That was more than an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And we had a drink in the week, didn't we? That was more than an hour, wasn't it?
that was a good.
Is he okay when it's just the two of you? Because I find as soon as there's a third person,
Well, yeah. Just to give
he
you.
just starts showing off.
Well, there's a little bit of that, right? But I went out with Ricky, like you said, right, for a drink in a week. And, I went home and Suzanne, my girlfriend, said, where have you been? I said, I've been out for a drink with Ricky. Hey, you've been out for a while. What have you been talking about? I sort of sat there for a minute and thought, there's nothing that I can tell her we've been talking about that she'll show any interest in. She said, well, you must remember something. I said, I can't. She goes, no, something, just anything that you were talking about. What are you talking about? I said, right. The one I remember, one of the topics that came up was, imagine that the only way to have a kid was you had to sleep with a squid. How many kids would you have?
I would say it was the future and the squid's taking over. The only way they could do it now is like a filter. You had to see with the squid. I was going, would you? He's going, what do you mean? I was going, would you? He said, there's not a time he hasn't gone home with a conversation buzzing in his head that he got confused about.
Would anyone want a kid that much?
Does the child look like a squid when you have it, or is it?
No, it's not. I was going, no, it's normal, but it's like a filter with the system. The only way you can do it to make sure, you have to impregnate the squid, and it's a filter, and then you can, test tube baby in the future.
Did the busted lads mention that in the song?
We live underwater. That's where I got it from. I said, well, you probably sort of like get quite friendly with them. Eventually, you probably would be breeding with the squids and,
So what does Suzanne make of Gervais? Has she met him a few times?
Yeah, she just said, she can understand why we sort of get on, because we both sort of come up with daft stuff all the time. And but I'm quite happy to have a discussion.
I love the way that it talks about his partner like the adult.
Well, I know
we're
that's
the
how I
two
see
kids
it.
that go out playing, talking about squids.
That is exactly how I see Suzanne. It's like if she wasn't there, I don't think you'd get out of the house in the morning.
Well,
you'd have tied your shoelaces together.
Yeah, you'd have your earplugs in.
You'd have forgotten to put your trousers
the
on.
The fire alarm would be going off, and someone would have left a frying pan on. The builders would be sort of like throwing you round.
Yeah, I imagine she makes you like a round of sandwiches.
Well, she's noticed that I don't ask as many questions now. Because, like, last night was one of the first times in ages that I'd asked her something, right?
What did you ask?
Where's the bathroom?
No, right. Do you know, like, I'm always thinking stuff when I'm bored, right? If it's when I'm washing up or what have you.
Yeah.
And last night, she was watching that Midsummer
Murders.
Midsummer Murders, right? I don't like it. I think it's rubbish. Right. So,
another thing you've got in common then.
No, but do you know what I mean? But I let her watch it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She really likes it.
He was standing, he's watching the microwave. She was going, Karl, no,
exactly.
This is the telly. This is the telly.
Wait a minute. This chicken's going to come
I've seen this before. It's before it comes round again in a minute. Karl, what's the washing machine, Karl?
So she's watching it, loving it, and that, and I'm bored because it's just it's a boring program. Yeah. So I'm sort of looking through magazines that we've got,
trying to find animals without heads.
And it was in one of her magazines, and there's this article right about these identical twins, brothers, right, and one of them meets this girl, right? And it turns out she's got an identical...
I've heard this. This is true. Right. They get married.
She's got an identical sister.
Right. So they both go out.
So two identical twins, male, going out with two identical twin sisters. Yeah.
So I was looking at it going, oh, that's weird. Because you see them, like, they're always wearing the same cardigans and that, and that's like...
But then, but if you're an identical twin, then you probably would fancy the same sort of person, wouldn't you?
But then I was asking, she was going, it's getting near the, the plot, the murderer. If they had a kid, would they look the same?
Yeah.
Not
necessarily, because it depends on what genes are passed over. Even though they've got the same exact sets of genes, that you don't pass on all the genes, do you? It's 50-50, but you don't pass on exactly the same genes in each sperm, let alone with an identical twin.
Yeah, but even though you don't do that, like my brother and sister don't look like me, but you know they were related. Because
they share 50% of your father's genes.
Gobbledygook.
Yeah. No, you share 50% of your father's genes and 50% of your mother's, but not the same 50% on two occasions.
I think
I've lost him already.
When you brought in the word genes, I thought you was thinking, what
no, they wouldn't necessarily. They wouldn't necessarily, no. They could do by
Did Suzanne
chance.
Look at you like Oliver Hardy looks at Stan Laurel when he's just like nailed his hand to a wall or something?
She went, ask Ricky tomorrow. And
then turned up John Nettles.
And then turned it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that is brilliant. I think I heard a story once where two sets of Siamese twins married. What if you fancied the one on the left?
Yeah. What if one of them was having an affair behind the other one's back? That'd be difficult to conduct, wouldn't it? You better show off he's waking up.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing down there? What are you doing down there?
Nothing. There's no one down here.
Well, I think there is, because I can see her sister here.
No.
What's she doing?
No,
she's covering for him. What are you covering for him for? He's your husband. Is my wife down there?
I read something about some Siamese twins.
Go on.
And one of them was saying, we get on each other's nerves and that.
But the other one was going, we don't.
I didn't know this.
I've never liked you. I've never liked you.
One of them was going, I hate doing the washing up, but I let her do it. And the person doing the interview said, well, why don't you help out? Just dry up. and get the job done quicker. And she was like, no, I can't stand it. I prefer just to hang around there and wait for the other girl to do the washing up on her own rather than help and get the job done.
Sure.
Just selfish.
Well, there was one set of Siamese twins. One had a job and the other one didn't.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah. The other one was unemployed. The other one had a job. She had to go to work. She had to get up at 6 o'clock on her day
I'm
off.
supporting you, literally.
Yeah.
Then they get done off the social for sort of...
Yeah, because the other one was signing on.
Are you living together? We're not.
Written by Bob Dylan, of course, the Mighty Queen from
and
Manfred Mann.
Totally true. You will not see nothing like the Mighty Queen. Feeder, just the way I'm feeling on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve and Karl.
Right.
Just having a whale of a time. Both of them. They love being in this room with me for 2 hours. That is their favourite part of the week, I think, isn't it? I haven't said that, but I'm assuming they love it. Right, competition time. Brand new competition we've come up with. My favourite we've ever done, I'll be honest. And a great prize, The Sixth Sense. You get a clip of a great film, and then you get to keep the great film. Now, I'll just explain this competition. I think Karl is a little bit of a frustrated actor. And so, by the power of technology, Karl takes the role in a film. And there's a question about it afterwards. This is a scene starring Karl Pilkington from The Sixth Sense.
Jeez, I hope nobody got hurt.
Be alright?
You're very quiet.
I'm just thinking about stuff. That's all.
You're mad I missed the play, aren't you?
A little bit annoyed, to be honest. Went down a storm playing the drums in Little Donkey, but your loss.
I'd give anything to have been there.
Well, you wouldn't, because you didn't. But like I say, it's your loss, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just quiet because I'm thinking about stuff, like I said. Right? I'll make a big deal out of it.
What is it?
Well, I was just thinking, what would happen, right, if you put a chameleon on a mirror? How would it handle that? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Oh, you're scaring me.
That's scaring you. This'll scare you, right? The other day, saw two old men sat there having a Twix. You never see that, do you? Old fella having a Twix.
You see ghosts, Cole?
No, just the old fellas having a Twix, boy.
They talk to you?
No.
They tell you to do things?
No, because they were too busy eating, but what's that got to do? What are you looking like that for? Do you think I'm some sort of freak or something? Is that...
I would never think that about you.
Well...
Ever.
No.
Got it?
All right.
Well, it's a very chilling scene, that.
That is great. Oh, that is fantastic.
It's a very spooky scene from the film The Sixth Sense. Rick, I think you've got a question.
Well, yeah, I mean, Karl played it wonderfully there, the role of the child that sees weird stuff. But who played the original role? What was the name of the child actor who played the original role?
It's email only, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. You can win a copy of The Sixth Sense. But I think we can probably play it again later for those that missed it, or those that caught the tail end, or those that need another reminder.
Yeah, you got to get your, it's 15, 20 minutes, get your answers in. We'll pick a lucky winner, and then we'll play it again, because I think Karl can go to Hollywood with some of the things I've seen there.
Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
I'm going to play a track now. We tried to play it a couple of weeks ago, but the jumped. So I got a new CD of it. It's Papa Garcia, and this is Natalie and Nusi. Natalie and Nusi by Papa Garcia. Well, we've had lots of emails already. In fact, my favourite one is a suggestion of the name of that feature, specific to this today's is the Twix Sense.
Indeed.
Which was great. And feel free to send in your suggestions, because we're going to try and do one a week, a classic film with Karl in an important role. But if you want to, see Karl as maybe as Michael Corleone in The Godfather, send in. We'll see what we can do, won't we, Karl?
And don't imagine that it has to be a male character. I imagine that you could play, for instance, Sharon Stone's role in Basic Instinct.
I don't imagine it has to be a human. An animate object.
He might be better suited.
He'd be very good as a rock, or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're going to pick up something we spoke about before. We're going to announce we're going to play that again in a few minutes. But Karl wants to put the record straight, don't you? Karl's fed up with when he comes up with something that's a little bit fantastic and far-fetched and wrong, that we take the mickey out of him. So he's brought in some hard evidence of story, haven't you?
No, do you know, I find stuff on the internet and that, right? And I come in and tell you about it, and you go, that's rubbish.
Yeah.
And then you'll say, show your workings, which I've never liked doing.
No.
When teachers say that, I hate that.
Yeah.
Because I normally can't.
No.
I've always gone,
He's just got the answer's 5, and I go, no, I asked for the capital of China. The answer's 5.
Yeah.
But right, so we started a feature a couple of weeks ago, chimpanzee, the thing about monkeys and stuff.
Let's just play the jingle, right? Oh, chimpanzee that.
Yeah.
Right.
We started that.
That's facts about apes, isn't it? And
Monkeys, chimps, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a story about a monkey that was in a zoo.
Yeah.
And it got pally with the zookeeper.
Right, yes.
Remember?
It moved into his house, didn't it?
Yeah, and
didn't
it
it ultimately have an affair with his wife?
Yeah, it liked a little brandy at night and a cup of tea in the morning. Then he went to work and it moved in on its wife.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I read that in a book.
Yes.
Right? But then I was looking for some more monkey stuff online the other day, and I found the same story
Right.
from a different source.
Okay.
Which is always a good sign.
And it's corroborated what you claimed, is it?
Kind of. There you go.
It's not a different source, though, is it? It's someone who read the same thing as you and printed it themselves.
then.
I left out a fact. His name's Oliver.
What, the monkey?
So
or
I got that wrong, yeah. The monkey's called Oliver. Can you see that, Steve?
Oh, yes.
Right.
There's a picture of him here.
Do you want to read it?
Now, do you? Where is this from, then?
I was looking for world famous monkeys online, and it
www.apenaut.org. This is someone who, in America, who set up a sort of similar website to...
where he is, but... Yeah.
Okay, he was originally brought into the US with 12 other chimpanzees, but immediately stood out as different. He learned to drink, enjoy coffee and beer, and smoke cigars. In the evenings, he would sit on a sofa and watch television. If his caregivers were out of coffee, he would walk into the kitchen, pour a cup, and take it into the den. As he got older, he made sexual advances on the wife, and as a result was sold.
I reckon it was a stowaway. And to not get caught, he pretended to be a monkey.
Yeah.
Whereas really, it was just a
That would make
fella.
sense, because the final line is, he's now living in retirement in Texas.
Yeah.
But my only query, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, is that it doesn't really give much more information. I mean, someone who's set up a website like this, I'm worried that what I'm saying is I'm worried he's a kind of an American twin of you. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean by that? There's no real hard evidence. There's no kind of dates. There's no references to where he was specifically or what zoo he was in.
Karl Pilkington.
Yeah.
From Dallas. Hi. We're cousins.
Why do you need to know all that? The story's
What do
there.
you mean, why does he know that? Why not accept it? Because another fella reckons a chimp moved in on someone's wife.
What I'm saying is that he could be as much of a nutter as you. Do you see what I mean?
What do you mean? He is.
Yeah, exactly.
What, and go to that much trouble of
Yes.
sorting out a website and that?
You host a radio show, for goodness sake. To spout your idiocy. Setting up a website's hardly anything. You've had to get a job.
He was stressed yesterday because we want to do another chimpanzee that. Have we got a new story coming up for chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
He was stressed yesterday because he said, I'm really overworked. I'm really getting fed up. He said, I haven't even sorted out the story about this monkey. He said, how overworked am I that I haven't even got time to sort out a story about a monkey? You know how much I love that.
Rick, do you think there's any way we could lure Oliver out of retirement to come over and produce this show?
I think we probably could.
I'm parched for a cup of coffee. Would you pop to the kitchen?
We're going to play a bit of Springsteen.
Oh, I'm loving it.
For Martin Freeman, he said, please play some Springsteen or Bowie. I'm trying to get him into Motown, but he only likes Level 42.
Yeah.
But this is for him. Nothing Man, Springsteen off the Rising album. Oh, adverts. Eminem. Sing for the Moment on XFM 104.9. Well, that is the most popular competition we've done, judging by the amount of emails. The Twix sense there.
To be fair as well, Rick, there is a question that is answerable. I think that's
And there
also
is
a reason why people...
yeah. Yeah, that's because I did it and not Karl, probably.
Exactly.
I asked the question there.
Yeah.
We're going to play it again because other people want to hear it again, and then we will give the winner's name, and they will win that copy of it.
Karl in The Sixth Sense.
Jeez, I hope nobody got hurt.
Be alright.
You're very quiet.
I'm just thinking about stuff. That's all.
You're mad I missed the play, aren't you?
A little bit annoyed, to be honest. Went down a storm playing the drums in Little Donkey, but your loss.
I'd give anything to have been there.
Well, you wouldn't, because you didn't. But like I say, it's your loss, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just quiet because I'm thinking about stuff, like I said. Right? I'll make a big deal out of it.
What is it?
Well, I was just thinking, what would happen, right, if you put a chameleon on a mirror? How would it handle that? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Oh, you're scaring me.
That's scaring you. This'll scare you, right? The other day, saw two old men sat there having a Twix. You never see that, do you? Old fella having a Twix.
You see ghosts, Cole?
No, just the old fellas having a Twix, but
They talk to you?
no,
They tell you to do things?
no, because they were too busy eating. But what's that got to do? What are you looking like that for? Do you think I'm some sort of freak or something? Is that?
I would never think that about you.
Well, it's just,
Ever.
no.
Got it?
All right.
Oh, there you
extraordinary.
go. And so the question was, who played the original role of that kid in the car who saw strange things? And the answer is Steve.
Haley Joel Osment, of course,
Yeah.
who is a talented young performer, but I don't think really has anything on Karl Pilkington, who I think made that scene even more chilling and
Yeah.
more atmospheric than the original.
Definitely.
And we'll give this to, let's see, I think it's Francis Marnie, who's emailed in. He or she said, I don't know if it's a he or she, but says that basically...
I is male and he is... No,
Oh, well, I think it's a
I
bloke.
is female and Frances or I don't
Francis,
know. Do
anyway,
I?
that could be a fake name, who knows? But let's assume it's a he. He says he's a sad little nerd who, it was his birthday yesterday and only his mum remembered, even his best friend forgot.
Definitely a bloke.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really relate to life as a bit of a loser, a bit of a nerd, so I don't really know what he's talking about, but I imagine a lot of our audience do, so let's give it to him and sort of...
I imagine he's a little four-eyed, little lanky.
loser.
Yeah.
Actually, as I look again, I notice he's not even got the name right. He spelled it Haley Joel Osment.
Oh.
Instead of Osment. But, so he really is pathetic. I mean, what a pathetic little
Actually,
weasel.
well, I'll tell you what we fun now. Now we humiliated him. Don't give him the prize. Give it to someone else.
Well, it's on TV tonight anyway on ITV.
No. Well
just
done,
watch it then.
Francis. Thank you for listening, and well done for spotting who Karl was trying to...
And whatever girl you fancy at school, ask her out. Say, come back to my place, watch The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
She'll love it, and you'll be guaranteed a share.
Why do you assume he was at school?
I don't know, because his spelling is terrible. Although I'm looking at Karl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a very badly put together email. I just assumed it was a kid.
Right.
Well, if he is a kid now and he's going through formative years, he's probably really... I never dreamt it was a kid.
Really?
I feel a bit bad now.
Well, you thought it was a sort of 25-year-old loser,
Yeah.
even more pathetic in a way.
Yeah. And now I'm worried that, you've embarrassed, an adolescent live on, one of the biggest radio stations in the building. It's not even the biggest radio station in the building. I can't believe that. It's the smallest radio station in this building.
Right, now we've done that, right? Are we doing a proper competition?
Yeah.
Setting up the old...
Rockbusters, your favourite, isn't it?
Well, let's play a tune before. I don't think I can face that
Well,
straight
it's just
away. I
that
need a break.
we've also got... That song sounds all right. aren't we? Another new feature.
That song sounds good.
Can I just say before we play a record that we've had an email from Dickie Anderson.
Dickers!
Richard Anderson.
Oh, Dickster, you Dicky Docky Dido. How are ya?
If you're a new listener, then you won't have come across Richard before, but
he loves the show.
He's our biggest fan.
He's a bit of a, and he loves the show. He tapes it and listens back to it 4 or 5 times.
But the great thing about him is he's not afraid to offer a bit of constructive criticism.
Oh, well, go on, what's he said?
Well, all I'm going to say to you is he said, is it true that companies are now getting rid of hold music and are instead using your show to irritate their customers while they're waiting on the phone? I don't know. We'll look into that, Dickie, but thanks for that.
I Need Direction, Teenage Fan Club on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Do keep your suggestions coming in for roles that you'd like to see Karl playing in future editions of that quiz.
This is the most popular contest we've ever done.
Has it got a name yet? Have we come up with a name?
Holly wouldn't.
Okay, brilliant. Well, anyway, we had some suggestions. Neil Wilson in Bedford, he suggested he'd like to see you, Karl, playing the role of Clyde the Monkey in Every Which Way But Lose.
That'd be great.
And also an excellent suggestion from Lee Gridley in Essex. The obvious role for you is, of course, Dustin Hoffman as Rain Man.
I said that, didn't I?
That's perfect.
That'd be great. Yeah. Just imagine going, okay, you remember, bet 2 for good, yeah. Well, you've lost again, yeah. That'd be fantastic.
I'm worried that I don't know, it's a bit of a stretch, Karl. Can you play someone who's that clever?
Give it a go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do Elephant Man.
Okay.
Why? What sort of ideas you got for Elephant Man?
Well, I don't know whether I'd be him or, like, the Doctor.
What would you say if you were the Doctor?
Just like, how you do that? You know what I mean?
How'd you do that?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at your head. Have you seen your head?
Or he goes, I'm not an animal. And you go, wow.
It's 50-50.
Judging by your head, you are.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Slows, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll keep them going in. That's brilliant.
So,
the competitions don't stop there, sadly.
No.
Rockbusters.
Oh, God.
Right, how about, we've got this other thing, right, this other music thing.
Yeah.
How about we make that part of it?
How many competitions have you got?
No, well, this is what I'm thinking, right, because we can, if you're not happy with Rockbusters, if we add a little bit to it, and they love the bit I've added, then we can slowly fade it out without them knowing.
That's it. Do 2 of your Rockbusters and one of these.
Right.
Are these the prizes, Karl?
They're the prizes.
Well, let's do the prizes.
Quickly go through them then.
Yeah.
All right, what have we got here?
Let's speed this up because I'm dropping off now. I think it's either warm in here or this isn't the most stimulating conversation we've ever had.
Okay, firstly, there's a CD here. It's tracks that were sampled by various artists, including Jay-Z, Happy Mondays, and so on. It's the original versions. That might be quite good fun.
Sure.
I Love You. Let me see. It's a number of love songs.
Yeah.
You've got Blue featuring Elton John on there.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Great, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Retro Dance Masters.
Oh, yeah.
That's another CD. Dance tracks, obviously, on there. Oh, it's still knocking about. The Best Air Guitar Volume 2.
Sure.
Rubbish. This is quite good, though. It's Paul Whitehouse's TV show Happiness. That's the first series on DVD. We've also got Stephen Polyakoff's The Lost Prince. You can have that in your collection. Probably never watch it, but it might look like you're slightly classy and arty. And
Is it subtitles?
the best one-hit wonders album in the world ever. You got stuff on there like Nena, 99 Red Balloons, and M's Pop Music. So not that bad a selection, actually, this week. He's cut out some of the chaff.
Right. Yeah, okay.
So
right, here we go. Rockbusters.
Rockbusters, first one. We'll do 2 of these and I'll play something in a minute. Right, first one. The Australian picks 2 blokes.
What?
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The Australian picks 2 blokes.
The initial?
Yeah, the initial E, right? And the second one, that builder's a bit...
I've got that already. It's annoying.
That builder is a bit cute.
He's a bit cute.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's BT.
BT.
That
builder's a bit cute.
Yeah. And the Australian picks 2 blokes, E. And then what I'm going to do now is play some sound effects that make up a song, and you've got to guess what the song is.
Go on then,
right?
just do it and then the shot on
Here we go. There you go. So what song's that? It's sort of an XFM type song.
Okay, well, that's
isn't it?
great. Email
So I should just clarify that the first 2 are band names or artist names, but that's the title of the track that we want there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
That's
so
right.
confusing. No one's ever going to figure this out.
They will, though. They will.
They'll do it.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Hey, listen, we've got the best fans in the world, Steve. Remember that. Remember that. Without them, we ain't nothing.
Yeah.
So, good luck to you.
Shall I pick a track, Steve?
I'd love to.
I want to wear some monkey magic. I want to wear some chimpanzee that. I want to wear some aping around.
We've got that still to come. Look forward to
I
that, Rick.
can't believe it. We've got Rockbusters. That film sounds good. And we've got, look at him up in Hollywood. And we've got like all monkey me, monkey you. We got Gibbon on the horn.
Jesse Malin, this is a great track. Jesse Malin, a song called Brooklyn.
Coming up, some monkey business.
Indeed.
Coldplay, Clocks on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Right, give me some monkey magic, Karl.
Hang on, you better do the jingle, ain't you?
Oh, chimpanzee that.
Oh, you'll like this one. What I've found is I found out like a lot of monkeys' names. Like that's how I found out about Oliver.
Yeah.
What do you mean you found out a lot of monkeys' names?
Well, there's a lot of monkeys out there, and you think they're just called monkey and what have you, but they're all given names, right? So this one that I found about, bit of a weird name anyway. It's actually called Crap. Its name, right? And
so they're not born with those names. It's not like their parents give them those names. You know, they're just chimps. Yeah.
But this one, right? And
it's called Crap.
Yeah, I know. Right, but do you know what it's famous for?
What crap?
Yeah.
No.
Go on.
Is it involved with this show?
It's the first monkey to have its name tattooed on its head.
Yeah, again, I will say not by choice. There is no way that a chimp would go down to Camden Lock and go, are you a registered tattooist? I am, yes. Yeah, it's the cleanest, yeah. Go, okay,
Can I have a look through your book?
I'm looking for something quite gothic, but I'd like, you know, what's your name? Crap. Oh, I'm not sure I can do that because you're not drunk, are you? I haven't had a drink. I've had some Mbongo, and that's all. But no. What are you talking about? The first monkey to have its name tattooed on its head. What are you talking about,
There's got to be more information. Don't tell me you're leaving it there. There's got to be more information.
That was it. And then I read it thinking, well, that's weird because that means there's loads of monkeys with tattoos on their head. If that's the first one.
No, it could be still the only one.
The first and only.
Yeah, but would they report that?
What do you mean, would they report it? This isn't the Washington Post you're reading. This is mentalists who do websites about themselves every day.
What? There's got to be a third act to that
news?
story.
Why is that news? How did you come across that?
Well,
First nut monkey with tattoo head. I mean, what are you talking about?
But why did it have its name tattooed on its head?
No, it didn't say that. I mean, yeah, I know, it's mad. But he didn't say why.
Was that enough for you, though? Did you feel satisfied having read that? Did you not have other questions?
There's no way that is in the Guinness Book of Records. There's no way that is cited in the Guinness Book of Records.
I just read it as like, what a weird name for a monkey. And then, you want to have that on your head?
What would be a good name for a monkey?
I don't know, anything but that, really.
Yeah.
Dave.
Ted. But what do you think of that then?
Well, I don't know what to think about it because I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know that that's news. I don't know that it's true. I mean, I don't know where to start with that. Is that all you found? You found something about a monkey?
I'll tell you, right, when I was searching for stuff on monkeys, right?
Yeah.
I was searching around like I always do, finding information, right?
Yeah.
And found out, are you aware of the Iceman?
The Iceman?
Yeah.
Go on.
Right, and to me, the monkey thing was more...
What's the Iceman? The man that was found in the ice.
So you're aware
a
of
Neanderthal man.
Right, yeah. Ricky, do you know
Not a
about
monkey,
the Iceman?
though.
No, but I just was looking at, like, info.
Right. The 5,000-year-old fella who was preserved in a glacier. That one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that more fascinating than the monkey?
Well, I know that it's true.
Yeah, it is true, but do you find it more fascinating?
Well, simply because it's true, I find it more fascinating. I can't act on if someone anything that's true is more fascinating.
But you see, what I get from the monkey thing, you go, I wonder if it was happy about that. And
but you accept it straight away. You accept that is true and interesting, and I don't know what that is. I mean, to me, it sounds like a bit of cruelty towards animals.
Yeah. Because
I mean, if that's true, it's disgusting to tattoo a monkey's head. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't do it. If they reported that a monkey went in and got a tattoo and chose it itself and then was riding a Harley Davidson down Canada, I'd go, that is incredible. But I'd really want to see it on the news, and it mustn't be anywhere near the 1st of April. You know what I mean?
I think you've just blown next week's.
Letter to Hermione, David Bowie of Space Oddity album, XFM 104.9. See, I don't know where, I thought you'd sort of learnt a little bit, Karl, what is an interesting fact and what might just be a mentalist online. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what point we're making here? Why the truth is so much more even a little bit, even something that's just, mild, but is definitely the truth, is so much more interesting than just wish fulfillment of truth. To me, if it starts with there was this ghost, right, it's not interesting. You could say anything. There was this ghost that could turn custard into wine. It doesn't matter. There was this ghost that had 9 heads. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There was this
Carl's looking at you going, there's a ghost that can turn custard into wine?
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you say after that. There's a ghost that can swallow alligators whole. The premise means it's not true to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like people say, you know what? God, right? He's incredible. I'll stop you there. The fact that he can make the earth in 7 days, well, you've lost me already. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone says something like, a cockroach can live 5 days without a head, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Right.
Do you think when you die, they say, you're a ghost, this is going to amaze you. You can go and you can spook people out.
Yeah.
Do you like custard? Come over here.
No. Well, if you don't, you don't. Do you like wine? Of course I do. Oh, you are going to love it.
You're going to love me.
You're going to love it.
I've lost all my loved ones.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? It's what your sort of beliefs are based on. Mine are sort of on, I suppose, logic and science. And so I'm amazed by the world. And
so the Iceman, why does that amaze you? What's like, ooh...
Well, they found some part of our preserved past. It's interesting. Again, I'm amazed by anthropology and evolution.
Yeah, it's just that line on its own like that. They found an Iceman is great, but then it went on, and it's going on about they've had to get different people involved to find out how old it was. Because first of all, the story started off right. An old fellow on holiday somewhere. Where did they find it? In Sweden or something? And he was walking in the hills. And
he was walking
in the hills.
In heels? Was he a transvestite?
In the mountains.
Oh, right.
In the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's walking about, and he sees this body in the snow, and he thinks, oh. So he calls the police up, and they come and have a look, and he goes, oh yeah, it's probably a murder. So then they dig it up and find out. He's got hold of a spear in his hand.
Right, and he's dressed like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. Right.
And they realise it's probably not a recent murder.
Right.
His knuckles are dragging on the floor. He's a Neanderthal man. They think, hang on, Karl Pilkington.
But when they found out, hang on, it's an old thing.
It's an old thing!
Can it? If it was a murder recent, then you'd go, hang on, how did this happen? Who does he belong to?
Yeah.
Well, the chances are whoever murdered him is also dead.
5,000 years ago, probably, yeah.
So leave it. Just bury it.
I don't think it's a murder investigation.
No, but they are.
It's not Quincy going, this was before my time.
It's not a murder investigation.
Just one thing bothers me, sir. Just one final thing. My wife loves you, but this guy.
That's how they were
Why
treated.
would he have a spear and a leopard skin? I just can't. I can't get over this.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying? Right, shut up, everybody. What are you saying? You've got one chance now. You've got to ask me a question, and I will answer it the best way. But what are you saying? What is your question?
Right, he probably spent a load of money.
That's not a question. That's not a question.
But let me tell you what I'm saying. Right, they're probably spending a load of money finding out stuff about this fella who died. And even if he wasn't murdered, he'd be dead by now anyway. So get over it. Right, 3,000 years ago he died. Right, so then they start messing about with it. Saying, well, how did he die? Well, it doesn't matter. It was ages ago. Then they start digging his belly open, seeing last meal that he ate.
Yeah.
Oh, he ate seeds and leaves. Well, no surprise, really. There's now else around. Again, spending more money. Someone's been paid money to sort that out. Then they bury him, and then said, hang on a minute, are you sure that he died by like a spear. Let's dig him up again. So they dig him up again and find some splinter or something.
I don't believe they buried him.
They did. Well, in some sort of fancy coffin so everyone can see him. But for me, that is more wasteful than sorting out something that's, like someone who's ill. Sort something out,
Sorry, it's not either or. They didn't put a doctor out of surgery.
Exactly. There's not an old man in a bed in the corridor or something.
Yeah, they go, Ted, what are you doing? I'm just giving this bloke a stat clear. No, look, we found an old fella in a skit. Okay, you take over. It's not either or, Karl. What are you talking about? It's scientific research.
But don't you see why this is fascinating? It gives us an insight into how we lived 3,000, 5,000 years ago. That's an incredible historical document.
I wonder if it was your equivalent. I wonder if he was like the Karl of the time, and there's people, ghosts now through there going, "Oh God, I don't believe it. They've dug up Karl. They think we're all like that. Oh no, they're going into his brain now. They're looking at how his brain works. We're going to get such a bad rep. Oh
well,
dear.
Each to their own. If you like it, I just thought it was a bit of a
waste of money.
A little bit of a waste.
Yeah. Okay.
But there you go. Anyway, we'll give out the answers to Rockbusters next.
If we must.
Yeah.
It sometimes stuns me. Sometimes I'm taken aback. Do you know what I mean?
But what worries me is if one day aliens do visit,
I'd love
and
that.
they come down. Yeah. But what worries me is they might bump into. What if they bump into you? What if they bump into you and they think that you represent mankind?
And they go up and they start another planet.
They can they say, we'll ask you 3 questions, and if you answer them correctly, we will not blow up your planet.
Yeah.
We'd be doomed.
Well, it depends.
It depends what they ask you, don't they? What if they said, right, Karl, what's the weirdest thing ever found in China?
I'll say hairy Chinese kid.
And they go, right.
Okay, interesting.
Too, all right.
What don't you see anymore?
What do you see an old bloke doing?
Don't see an old fella eating a Twix.
Yeah. And they say, what if they asked you, what's across the road from you when you're washing up?
Well, there's 3 things. So you just want one of them?
No, I want all 3.
You want all 3? It was a Chinese kid dancing about in his underpants.
Yeah.
There was a bouncer every night getting ready to go to work. And the third one, the old woman reading a book, the same book.
And they go, right, your planet's saved. See,
Quark, back in the ship.
Yeah,
they are a superior race. Eve featuring Gwen Stefani. Let me blow your mind.
XFM 104.9. Well, moving on.
Answers?
Nearly done. Let's play Rockbusters.
All right. First one was the Australian picks 2 blokes. The initial was E. The answer there, Eminem. Eminem. All right. The second one, that builder is a bit cute. The initials there were BT. That was Bonnie Tyler. And then we introduced a new bit to the show. That song sounds all right. These were the effects you heard. And that was Prodigy, Smack My Bitch Up.
Who are you punching there?
And could I just say, no animal was harmed in the taping of that effect.
There you go.
No.
Right, so have you got a winner?
Yes, Rob Preston from Croydon. He has got all 3 correct, and he wins a selection
bag of shite.
Exactly. So, so good luck. Enjoy that, Rob.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah.
Sell it. Record and tape exchange within 40 minutes of receiving it. I imagine one good album that he likes. Bob Dylan on the tracks for all this bag of shite, please. Should we play a record?
Absolutely. Can I just ask now, what are we thinking with Rockbusters? Are we sticking with this, or because I really thought we'd cancelled it?
What about that format we've just done where there's like 2?
This is another off-air discussion, I think.
Well,
I just feel the listeners should be able to contribute.
They do.
Yeah.
They phone in and say, the show's rubbish, move on. Can we experiment on Karl? I'm a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to tattoo on
Would he
Karl's
like a
head.
tattoo? Yeah. Oh, dear.
Well, have you got any tattoos? Have you ever thought about that? Any kind of piercings?
don't like the idea. Don't mess with your body and that.
Okay.
He doesn't like the human body. He's scared of it.
But I told you, didn't I, about me uncle
God.
Tattoo Stan. We've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah. Tattoo stand, yeah.
Yeah, he's got loads. And I think now he sort of, looks in the mirror and think, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
But then again,
So do you.
I was
With your life. Go on.
telling Ricky before about someone who had a tattoo. It's a bit horrible, really, isn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
The skin thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
You're not going to tell us it?
Again, I'm hoping it's not true because it's from Karl, but it's pretty disgusting. But unfortunately, because there's no paranormal or animals acting like humans involved, I think it might be true. It's a fellow who kept his dad's tattoo.
Yeah, he just sort of, when his dad passed away, he got the skin off and put it in a frame.
Who'd you ask to do that?
Oh, man, alive.
Ashes to ashes. Sorry, before we bury it, you don't...
Before we cremate, and I've got a Stanley knife.
Do you do any other services? Like what, my son? I'll just pop some of him in a jar for me. I'm sorry? How do you... I mean,
I bought this clip frame from IKEA.
Yeah.
You just slip that between
$4.99.
Yeah.
I
imagine your father is a man who's probably appalled by the idea of tattoos, earrings, things like that. I imagine he's quite an old school gent.
He's never sort of said anything, but...
If you came back with an earring, what would he have said when you were a youngster?
I never saw him that much as a kid, so I don't think he'd have noticed. My mum would have said, what have you done that for?
Yeah.
Our kid had a tattoo and an earring.
Sorry, is this the one that borrowed a tank from the army to go and get a packet of fags?
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
We must tell that story again next week. For those that are fairly new listeners, that's got to seem tantalising.
Yeah.
Your brother once drove a tank down to the local shops to buy some cigarettes. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary story.
But that's it.
It was that other auntie you told me about in the week. Not Auntie Nora, the one that farted for 5 minutes, but there's another auntie you talked about. How many aunties have you got?
I haven't really got another auntie. I've got my brother.
Yeah.
Who I haven't seen in ages.
Yeah.
My sister I hadn't seen for about 12 years. Then I saw her again, and then she got fed up because I said...
Oh, she had a new kid and you went with all the same. I've seen one, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Why is she saying that to your sister?
Your sister, you haven't seen her for how long?
I hadn't seen her for about 12 years, and then for some reason I met her in a car park in Wales.
Right.
And
it's incredible, isn't it?
For some reason.
Yeah.
And she got in the back of the car and she said, "Oh, I want to show you something," right? And she got this picture out and said, "Look at that." And it was one of my new nieces and nephews.
It was her daughter or her son.
Yeah, or whatever. And she said, "Look at that." And I said, "Oh." And I sort of said, "Well, there's no point showing it me. All babies look the same, don't
There's
they?"
no point in showing it me. It just takes 2 seconds of your life. You go, "Oh, lovely."
Yeah, right.
That's all you have to do.
If it was a first,
yeah,
I'd say, I'd show a bit of interest, even though.
Do you think the novelty wore off for her with the second kid, third kid?
Sixth kid. I think even she should be bored of looking at pictures of babies.
Kind of a woman is she? And can I get her phone number?
Right, is that it then?
Play a tune. Have we got? Is this it?
This is it.
Have we got to wrap it all up?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I forgot to bring in a song for the ladies this week, so I thought I'd play a song for people who enjoy the work of Deep Purple.
That run and run.
Here's Deep Purple. See you next week. Bye.